Chapter 282. You came out. Ning Cheng had just come out of the small spiritual domain, when the old man guarding the entrance of the small spiritual domain took the initiative to speak up. Yes, Senior. Junior still has some time to use this jade talisman. Senior, please help me exchange it for a jade token. I will come back to cultivate in the future. Ning Cheng crushed a corner of the jade talisman in his hand and handed it to the old man. He was a bit surprised as to why this old man would take the initiative to greet him today. He had been here twice, and the old man usually did not take the initiative to greet him with such a tone. Besides, it took him more than 7 months to advance from the Profound Core 1st level to the Profound Core 6th level. For the cultivators cultivating in the small spiritual domain, this speed was not very fast, rather it was ridiculously slow. The old man very skillfully helped Ning Cheng exchange the 10 cultivation jade cards, and spoke. Elder Bei is looking for you for a few things. He said that after you come out of seclusion, you can go to him. Many thanks, Senior. This junior understands. After Ning Cheng put away the jade card, he quickly thanked the elder. Only then did he know that it was Elder Bei who had greeted him. Elder Bei was Bei Youfa, although Ning Cheng did not have any backing in the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. But if one had to talk about backing, then Elder Bei could also be regarded as his backing. The main reason was that Elder Bei was a very good person, and also appreciated Ning Cheng very much. Ning Cheng also had a lot of respect for this Elder Bei. If not for Elder Bei during the last mission, then he absolutely would not have been able to come back so easily. Moreover, he was even able to obtain a generous reward. Therefore, as soon as Ning Cheng came out of the small spiritual domain, he directly headed towards the distant Sword Peak. The far Sword Peak was the immortal cave that Elder Bei lived in. Although Ning Cheng had not come here before, but he knew about the far Sword Peak. The distant Sword Peak was extremely ordinary, and it was even inferior to the cave residences of some direct disciples. From this distant Sword Peak, Ning Cheng could see that Elder Bei liked this kind of environment that was as ordinary as water. If there was anything different about this place, then as soon as Ning Cheng arrived here, he could feel a kind of scholarly aura. This kind of aura and Elder Bei's identity as a Confucian scholar was somewhat in line. But senior apprentice brother Ning Cheng came out. Ning Cheng had just arrived outside the distant Sword Peak's restriction when the restriction immediately opened. A youth dressed as a book boy stood inside the restriction, and cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng. Yes, I want to pay a visit to Elder Bei. Ning Cheng quickly replied in a polite manner. The youth took out a jade strip and handed it to Ning Cheng and spoke. This is something that Elder Bei left for you. Elder Bei has already gone to the Heavenly Dao Public Square. Thank you, junior brother. Ning Cheng received the jade strip and immediately left the far Sword Peak. Since Elder Bei was not here, he would first return to the Washing Sword Peak. After returning to his residence, Ning Cheng first took out the jade strip that Elder Bei had given him. After looking through the jade strip, Ning Cheng shook his head speechlessly, before throwing the jade strip into his ring. He didn't take the things in the jade slip to heart at all. Why would the Severing Emotions Dao sect and the Floating Snow Palace's true inheriting female disciples take a fancy to him? He even came to the sect for a marriage alliance. Who was he trying to fool? Not to mention that Ning Cheng simply did not believe that these 2 female disciples from the academies would take a fancy to him. Even if he believed it, he would just treat it as if it was just a clump of air. Ning Cheng, who came from Earth, did not treat marriage as a child's play. He and the cultivators here had some differences. That is, marriage was a major event in life, and one could not be sloppy about it. What's more, he already had Jiluofei. He and Jiluofei had met each other in times of adversity. This kind of relationship was much more reliable compared to the other academies who fancied his spiritual enhancement True Nectar and Mirage Stones. No, Ning Cheng suddenly felt that his idea was a bit too simple. The Severing Emotions Dao sect and the Floating Snow Palace were academies that were even bigger than the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Would such academies take the initiative to initiate a marriage alliance just because of his spiritual enhancement True Nectar and Mirage Stones? Even if they wanted these things, wouldn't they be able to purchase them? Why would they use such a method that others would look down on? This matter should not be as simple as it looks on the surface. Ning Cheng rubbed his head, thinking for a long time but still could not come up with a reason. In the end, he directly patted his own head. This matter was obviously not taken to heart by the academy. If the academy had taken it to heart, then how could they have allowed Elder Bay to leave behind a jade strip for him after he came out of the academy? Since the academies did not take it to heart, then why should he worry about it? As for the message left behind by Elder Bay, suggesting him to go to the Severing Emotions Dao sect and the Floating Snow Palace, Ningqing directly ignored it. Even if the Floating Snow Palace had the soul refining snow and ice domain, Ningqing did not care about it. The reason why he suffered from the Yangqi burning his body in the small spiritual domain was because he cultivated inside. If he did not cultivate inside, then this kind of thing would not happen again, so why would he go to the Floating Snow Palace? Moreover, if he went to the Floating Snow Palace, would he be able to use the soul refining snow and ice domain? After putting aside the matters of the Floating Snow Palace and the Severing Emotions Dao sect, Ningqing was instead interested in the Tian continent's great meet of the academies that Elder Bay mentioned. For this great meet of the academies, almost all the elites of the Tian continent would be participating in it. As such, he did not know if there would be any soul condensing pills for sale. The soul condensing pill was a rank 7 pill. The main spiritual grasses used to refine it were the essence soul fruit, and several other extremely precious spiritual objects. Currently Ningqing did not have the essence soul fruit, not to mention that even if Ningqing had this kind of spiritual object, he would not be able to refine a rank 7 pill. With his current level of alchemy, even if he refined a rank 5 profound pill, he would not be able to do so. Regardless of whether he could continue to cultivate in the small spiritual domain or not, the most important thing for him now was to find the soul condensing pill, while simultaneously preparing for the Thunder Tribulation. After Ningqing sorted out this information, he first went to the Academy Exchange Hall. He still had 1,000,000 contribution points. He wanted to see if he could use these contribution points to exchange for a soul condensing pill. If he could use these contribution points to exchange for a soul condensing pill, then he would not have to go around to buy them. Besides, if he wanted to buy a better soul condensing pill, then he might not necessarily have enough spirit stones. You want to exchange for a soul condensing pill? The steward responsible for the exchange of contribution points asked in a puzzled tone, and not waiting for Ningqing to answer, he spoke again. 200,000 contribution points. Is there really a soul condensing pill to exchange? Moreover, it is so cheap. Ningqing was pleasantly surprised as he took out his contribution point jade card. The steward responsible for the exchange simply did not take Ningqing's jade card, and only glanced at Ningqing before he spoke in a light voice. I have not finished speaking. 200,000 contribution points, plus an essence soul fruit. Hearing the last 3 words, Ningqing almost cursed it out loud. He had the essence soul fruit. Where else could he not exchange it for a soul condensing pill? And even came to the academy to exchange for it? Ningqing knew that there was no way for him to argue about this kind of thing. He did not even ask anything, as he put away the contribution point jade card, and proceeded towards the Method Depository Pavilion. Ningqing knew that most of the cultivators in charge of the Method Depository Pavilion, as well as the ones in charge of the exchange, did not have a high cultivation. Most of them were older, and were unable to make any progress. But when Ningqing saw the long-eyebrowed old man in charge of the Method Depository Pavilion, his heart immediately tightened. This long-eyebrowed old man looked very ordinary on the surface. At most he was a cultivator in the soul-sculpting realm. However, he had a vague feeling in his heart that this long-eyebrowed old man's cultivation was definitely much higher than Elder Bay's. This old man was at least a late-stage crucible transformation cultivator, or even higher. Senior, I want to go to the Method Depository Pavilion to look for some information on the jade strips. Ningqing came forward and spoke in a very respectful manner. The long-eyebrowed old man who had been pondering over a tortoise shell in his hand suddenly raised his head, as he glanced at Ningqing, before he frowned. Ningqing was worried when this old man suddenly spoke up. Look at the array formation display on the side. Hearing the words of this old man, Ningqing immediately noticed that there was an array formation display behind this old man. He then saw a variety of jade strips in the pavilion, the Cultivation Method Pavilion's first floor, a day's worth of 100 contribution points, the Cultivation Method Pavilion's second floor, a day's worth of 1,000 contribution points. What Artifact Crafting Pavilion, Alchemy Pavilion, Ningqing casually looked around and found that there were at least a few dozen pavilions. Moreover, each of these pavilions seemed to have many floors. This large academy really had a deep heritage. With so many jade strips, he did not know how long it would take for them to accumulate all of them. Ningqing quickly found the materials pavilion that he needed, and quickly spoke up. I want to go to the materials pavilion to look at some information. Put down 10,000 contribution points, and go in yourself. If you come out, you will have to refund the amount you owe. The long-eyebrowed old man spoke in a flat tone. Ningqing quickly took out his contribution point jade card and transferred out 10,000 contribution points. After Ningqing disappeared through the door and entered the materials pavilion, this long-eyebrowed old man shook his head and spoke. A silk pants, to be able to use the small spiritual domain to cultivate to the yang qi burning body technique in the profound core 6th level. It can be considered as the first. Moreover, there are also 1,000,000 contribution points. I don't know which bastard elder's descendant he is. It is simply a waste of resources. If you want to cultivate in the small spiritual domain, then the small spiritual domain would not be called the small spiritual domain. It might as well be called the heaven realm. Ningqing, who had already entered the materials pavilion, certainly did not know that he was being looked down upon as a rich second generation. At this time, Ningqing was looking for all the information about the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves on the jade strips. Although he knew some of the characteristics of the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves, and even obtained a pair of them, moreover he had already refined them into the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. But Ningqing did not know anything about the advancement of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, or even how to advance it. Now that he had obtained a pair of taintless silver wing feathers, he was even more eager to know how to advance the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. In any case, the more powerful the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, the more advantageous it would be for him. The materials pavilion had innumerable jade strips for all kinds of materials. Even with Ningqing's powerful spiritual consciousness, it still took him a full 3 days to find the introduction of the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves in the most remote corner. After reading through this jade strip, Ningqing came to know just how rare the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves were. But the introduction of the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves on the jade strip was not very detailed. It only said that after the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves were refined into the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, for each advancement, the wings would have one more ray of light. When the rays of light on the wings reached 6, the twin wings of the heavenly clouds would undergo a qualitative change. As for how the qualitative change would occur, there was no introduction. But there were some materials that could assist in the advancement of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Even how to refine these materials into the twin wings of the heavenly clouds was also described in detail. After reading through the jade strip, Ningqing already knew how to use the taintless silver wing feathers to advance the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Putting away the jade strip, Ningqing quickly left the method depository pavilion. He wanted to go back and advance his twin wings of the heavenly clouds. After his twin wings of the heavenly clouds advanced, he would immediately go outside to see if he could obtain some spirit congealing pills. Chapter 283. After returning to the immortal cave, Ningqing first took out the twin wings of the heavenly clouds and the taintless silver wing feathers. Ningqing had already refined the twin wings of the heavenly clouds for a long time. As such, his twin wings of the heavenly clouds now had a faint glow. He did not know that after refining this pair of taintless silver wing feathers, this faint glow would turn into 2. In accordance with the method of integrating the taintless silver wing feathers on the jade strip, Ningqing refined the taintless silver wing feathers and carefully integrated it into the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Wings and twin wings only had a difference of a single word. After refining the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves, it would be called the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. But Ningqing felt that calling it the twin wings of the heavenly clouds would be more appropriate. After all, the wings were grown on his body, but this pair of wings was refined from the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves, and could be taken down at any time. It was equivalent to a flight-type magical weapon. What's more, now that he had refined the taintless silver wing feathers, this name was more appropriate than the wings. A few days later, when the taintless silver wing feathers in Ningqing's hands gradually melted into the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, The two pieces of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds originally had a faint glow, but it was even softer than the previous glow. Ningcheng raised his hand, and the twin wings of the heavenly clouds instantly disappeared. He immediately felt the difference after the upgrade of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Then with a slight flash, the next moment he unexpectedly appeared more than 10 feet away. So powerful, Ningcheng was pleasantly surprised in his heart. Buying this pair of taintless silver wing feathers was definitely the right choice. Even if he lost the geocentric 9 essence jade strip, it was still worth it. You want to buy soul condensing pills? A shop assistant from a pill house in the Rainbow Fall makeshift market stared at Ningcheng with wide eyes, seemingly thinking that he had heard wrong. Ningcheng immediately understood that the question he had just asked was somewhat inappropriate, and quickly spoke up. I want to buy soul condensing pills, but I also know that soul condensing pills are something that is very difficult to find. I would like to ask, where can I find soul condensing pills? The shop assistant's mouth hung a trace of a smile, and spoke with a teasing tone. If it was before, then it would really be very difficult to buy this pill, but now there must be a place that has it. That is the Heavenly Dao Public Square. The Heavenly Dao Public Square, where the Great Meet of the Academies is held. The Great Meet would last for 3 months, but now it has only been less than a month. During this time, almost all the good things in the Tian continent would be gathered at the Heavenly Dao Public Square. If you go to that place, I guarantee you'll hear that the soul concentrating pill is on sale, hee. Ningcheng was able to understand the meaning behind the last 2 words of the shop assistant. That is, the Heavenly Dao Public Square was indeed selling soul condensing pills, but it was not something that a profound core 6th level cultivator like him could get his hands on. Although Ningcheng understood the meaning of this man, but he did not care about it at all. If he could find the soul condensing pill in the Rainbow Fall makeshift market, then he intended to look for a place to continue cultivating until he reached the great circle of the profound core realm, before preparing to attack the soul essence realm. Now that he discovered that the soul condensing pill was so precious, Ningcheng decided to follow his original plan and go to the Heavenly Dao Public Square. After purchasing a simple map of the Tian continent, Ningcheng left the Rainbow Fall makeshift market. The Heavenly Dao Public Square was not close to the Rainbow Fall makeshift market. Ningcheng estimated that with the speed of his twin wings of the heavenly clouds, it would take him at most 2 days to reach there. After Ningcheng left the makeshift market, he did not bring out the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Instead, he brought out a low-grade airship spiritual artifact. With his powerful spiritual consciousness, he had just left the Rainbow Fall makeshift market when he realized that someone was following him. Ningcheng was not afraid of tracking a cultivator that he was able to discover. Sure enough, after an hour, a pale red shadow suddenly rushed out and stopped in front of Ningcheng. Ningcheng landed on the airship, as he calmly stared at the figure in front of him and spoke. Fu Shengnan, you are just like a dog skin plaster sticking to me. Is it possible that you can't get married, so you want to look for me? A true inheriting disciple from the top 10 academies, a tall, rich, handsome man? The red-robed female cultivator who stopped Ningcheng was Fu Shengnan. Ningcheng guessed that this woman definitely did not come to thank him, as his words were not even half a shred of politeness. Fu Shengnan did not know what a tall, rich, handsome man was, so it must have been a boast. Her face turned green and red for a moment, before she suddenly spoke. Ningcheng, although you did not take the initiative to save me, but looking at the fact that you saved me once, I will not haggle with you this time. I just want you to do one thing. Ningcheng gave a chuckle and spoke. You know that I saved you, yet you still want me to do one thing. Do you really feel that good about yourself? I really don't understand where your superiority comes from. Why don't your mother and father have this kind of superiority? It's just too weird. Fu Shengnan did not hear Ningcheng calling her wild, as she suppressed her anger and spoke. You better not get close to my little sister, that sissy. It would not be good for you. Whether I get close to my little sister or not, it's none of your business. Ningcheng spoke with disdain. This woman had plotted against him, if not for Ningcheng knowing that he could not start at this moment, coupled with the fact that the other party was Fu Xiaomei's little sister, perhaps he would have already started a fight with her. Good, you asked for it. Fu Shengnan was so angry that her entire body was trembling. After she spoke the word good twice, she suddenly brought out a flight-type magical weapon and instantly disappeared without a trace. Unexpectedly, she did not even speak a single word to Ningcheng. After Fu Shengnan left, Ningcheng not only did not leave, but instead took out his profound break spear, while at the same time spoke in a cold voice. "Roll out. If you want to start, then hurry up. Don't hide your head and show your tail." Ningcheng's voice had just fallen when another shadow landed in front of Ningcheng. It was also a female cultivator, wearing a green cultivator's robe, with a very unique hairstyle, which matched with her white face, made her look very beautiful. However, at this time this female cultivator was giving off a trace of murderous aura. It was obvious that she had come here to kill Ningcheng. With her cultivation at Soul Essence 3rd level, if she wanted to kill Ningcheng, then in theory, it would not be a problem for her. "You unexpectedly knew that I and Shengnan were following you. It seems like I underestimated you. Even if Shengnan did not join forces with me, if I wanted to kill you by myself, it would only take a breath of time." As this green-robed female cultivator finished speaking, her entire body overflowed with murderous aura, and in an instant, she was able to control the imposing manner in this space. Ningcheng acted as if he did not feel this kind of terrifying and sharp murderous aura, and still spoke in a calm and unhurried manner. "I find it very strange. I don't even know you. So why do you want to kill me? Even if you want to die, you should at least give me a reason. Since you are already dead, then what reason do you need?" As the green-robed female cultivator spoke, she waved the long damask in her hands a few times. The color of the long damask was the same as the green robe she was wearing. Both were green in color. With this sway, this green-robed female cultivator's entire person disappeared. In front of Ningcheng, there were only green-colored sword lights. It seemed that every time this green damask swayed, the number of green-colored sword lights would increase by several times. Ningcheng shook his profound break spear, causing the 36 profound ice spear shadows to similarly transform into a spear net, which instantly formed an ice-cold spear net that blocked the countless green-colored sword lights. When the ice-cold profound ice spear shadows and the green damask sword lights collided, Ningcheng immediately realized that the other party's true essence was not as vigorous as his. He had already vaguely guessed who this female cultivator was, since he came out of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Then no one from the outside would know about it. This female cultivator and Fu Shengnan had come together to hunt him down, so she was definitely a person from the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Moreover, this female cultivator was not someone called by Fu Shengnan to help her. If Fu Shengnan had called for help, then since Fu Shengnan had already left, there was no reason for this female cultivator to continue staying in this place. So Ningcheng did not need to guess at all. He already knew that this female cultivator was one of Wen Han's people. He guessed that Wen Han had gone to the Heavenly Dao public square, and this female cultivator had listened to Wen Han's instructions, and was specifically waiting for Ningcheng in this place. As long as one was a cultivator, they would be very clear that the gap between the Soul Essence realm and the Profound Core realm was absolutely not something that the gap between the Profound Core realm and the Profound Congealing realm could be compared to. At least in the Yixing mainland, a Profound Core realm cultivator, who could block a Soul Essence cultivator, was as rare as a phoenix feather or a unicorn horn. Moreover, such a rare Profound Core cultivator was at the Great Circle of the Profound Core realm. Ningcheng, with his cultivation at intermediate stage Profound Core 6th level, to fight against this green-robed female cultivator at Soul Essence 3rd level. In anyone's opinion, it was simply an act of courting death. This green-robed female cultivator also gave a sneer, courting death. A Profound Core 6th level cultivator unexpectedly dared to use a spear technique to block her green damask sword lights. If this was not courting death, then what was? If it was replaced by another Profound Core 6th level cultivator, then it would indeed be courting death. However, this kind of reasoning could not be applied to Ningcheng. Not to mention that Ningcheng's spiritual consciousness was already far stronger than the green-robed female cultivator. Even Ningcheng's true essence was much more powerful than the other party. The only thing that Ningcheng was not as good as the other party was that he had not yet condensed the embryonic form of his soul essence. As such, his true essence and spiritual consciousness were far inferior to the other party. However, Ning Cheng's fierceness lay in the fact that his spiritual consciousness had been tempered in the chaotic star space. As such, its intensity and degree of condensation was far stronger than that of this green-robed female cultivator. Pa 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 pa. The profound ice spear shadows and the green damask sword lights of the other party clashed together, causing an endless vortex of true essence to surge up. The countless green damask sword lights looked as if they had just been fried in a pan of oil, as they quickly withered and weakened. The green damask sword lights were dispersed by the explosion, while the green-robed female cultivator was also forced to continuously retreat under the onslaught of the terrifying and powerful spear shadows. As the ice-cold aura assaulted her, she unexpectedly suffered some minor injuries. How is this possible? The green-robed female cultivator was still in a state of shock as to how this was possible, when Ning Cheng's cosmic true devil axe had already arrived. At this moment, this green-robed female cultivator was looking down on him. How could Ning Cheng not seize the opportunity? A tearing and twisting axe trace directly cut through the distance between the green-robed female cultivator and Ning Cheng. Everything in front of the axe trace, even the air, was directly split into nothingness. Previously, the green-robed female cultivator had formed a formidable imposing aura with her soul essence cultivation, but under this terrifying axe trace, it had already turned into nothingness. Seeing an incomparably clear axe trace descending towards her glabella, she could even see the tiny axe lines around the axe trace. The green-robed female cultivator was immediately frightened out of her wits. How could she continue to think that Ning Cheng only had the cultivation of profound core 6th level? In a moment of desperation, she even began to burn her essence blood, as she instantly brought out a small cauldron. After bringing out this small cauldron, it immediately turned into a huge cauldron with a radius of nearly 10 feet. But not waiting for this cauldron to continue to expand its imposing aura, Ning Cheng's axe trace had already struck the top of the cauldron. Bang! A terrifying explosion erupted. The green-robed female cultivator, because she did not put Ning Cheng in her eyes, hastily brought out her defensive huge cauldron, causing her to spit out a mouthful of blood. The huge cauldron was struck by the cosmic true devil axe, causing an incomparably fast and tiny axe line to pass through the huge cauldron, before quickly cutting across the arm of the green-robed female cultivator. Chapter 284. Poof! A blood arrow splashed out, as Ning Cheng's axe line directly cut off one of the green-robed female cultivator's arms, causing it to fall off. The green-robed female cultivator felt shocked. Not waiting for her severed arm to fall to the ground, she grabbed it and quickly retreated. She had never thought that in a direct confrontation, she would end up losing one of her arms to a profound core 6th level cultivator. Ning Cheng did not even think about it, as he once again blasted out with his cosmic true devil axe, sweeping up a berserk axe-killing vortex. He wanted to take this opportunity to kill off this green-robed female cultivator. He knew that the only reason he could chop off this green-robed female cultivator's arm was because this green-robed female cultivator did not put him in her eyes. If this green-robed female cultivator had taken him seriously from the beginning, he might not have succeeded. In the end, even if he could defeat this green-robed female cultivator, he would have to spend a lot of effort. The green-robed female cultivator finally recovered her senses. She completely understood that Ning Cheng was different from ordinary profound core cultivators. Not only was he different, but he was also not inferior to her in any way. At this moment, she didn't dare to be careless anymore. The defensive small cauldron in front of her expanded once again. In the blink of an eye, it transformed into a huge cauldron that was more than 10 feet in size, completely protecting her. The endless whirlpool of axe shadows bombarded the top of the huge cauldron. Boom boom boom. A series of violent explosions rang out, completely lifting up the surrounding sand and gravel into a cloud of dust. However, the final whirlpool axe shadow once again sent the green-robed female cultivator flying backwards, causing the green-robed female cultivator's expressions to change. At this time, she fully understood that even if she did not look down on Ning Cheng, she would not necessarily be a match for Ning Cheng. At best, she would be on the same level as Ning Cheng. From the time she started cultivating till now, she had never seen such a powerful profound core cultivator like Ning Cheng. Ningqing currently had the cultivation of profound core realm. Once Ningqing advanced to the soul essence realm, just how terrifying would he be? Ningqing was also shocked by the powerful true essence, causing him to fall back. He sighed in his heart. It seemed that it would not be easy for him to kill this green-dressed woman, unless she did not run away. If he hadn't chopped off one of her arms, he might have had to use all his trump cards to gain the upper hand. At this time, the green-robed woman had completely calmed down. She swallowed a few pills, and a long green ribbon wrapped around her head. A swift and fierce imposing aura once again slowly gathered around her. She guessed that she might not be Ningqing's opponent, but with the pride of a soul essence cultivator, she was not willing to run away from a profound core cultivator. Ningqing, who was about to continue his attack, suddenly gave a cold snort and spoke. "Today you are lucky, the next time you meet me, you might not be so lucky." Saying that, Ningqing's figure flashed and disappeared in an instant. The green-robed female cultivator stared at the spot where Ningqing disappeared. She even forgot that she should have picked up her severed arm first. No matter from what point of view, Ningqing had the advantage, so why would he take the initiative to retreat? While she was still in a daze, another red figure landed. "Senior Sister Xixing, you've already killed." Before the red-robed female cultivator could finish her words, she suddenly froze. She saw that the green-robed female cultivator had lost an arm and immediately asked, "What's going on?" The green-robed female cultivator was even more horrified in her heart. She had not noticed when Fu Xingnan had arrived, but that profound core 6th level cultivator had unexpectedly been one step ahead of her in sensing Fu Xingnan's arrival. No wonder this profound core cultivator took the initiative to leave. It turns out that he knew that he was not a match for two soul essence cultivators. "I'm not his opponent." The green-robed female cultivator called Xixing spoke out with a pale face, as she took out her severed arm and swallowed a few pills, before sitting down on the ground. Fu Xingnan was extremely shocked in her heart. She had never thought that Xixing would say that she was not Ningqing's opponent. Although Ningqing's cultivation progress was not small, but he still only had the cultivation of profound core 6th level. A profound core 6th level cultivator in the small spiritual domain was simply nothing. How could he beat a soul essence 3rd level cultivator? It was absolutely impossible. Fu Xingnan, who was full of doubts, waited until Xixing stood up again, before she hurriedly asked, "Senior Sister Xixing, did you just say that you are not Ningqing's opponent?" Xixing glanced at Fu Xingnan and spoke, "That's right, I am not his opponent. If it weren't for you, then maybe I would have already been killed. This person is just too terrifying. Currently he is only at profound core 6th level. Once he advances to the soul essence realm, he would be able to kill me with just a lift of his hand. Not to mention Wen Han, even senior apprentice Brother K would not be his opponent. This time I was plotted against by Wen Han. If I had known that the person he wanted to kill was so powerful, I would have never coveted his benefits." Xixing finished speaking, as she brought out her flight-type magical weapon and turned around to leave. She did not even ask Fu Xingnan if she wanted to go together with her. Fu Xingnan looked at the disappearing back of Xixing. She knew that Xixing's last words were meant for her to hear, and for her to pass it on to Wen Han. Silently looking at the battlefield filled with ravines, Fu Xingnan suddenly felt a bit of fear in her heart. If she had come alone to look for Ningqing, then maybe before she left, Ningqing would have already killed her. But compared to Xixing, she was not just a little bit worse. After Ningqing left, he did not feel much joy. Compared to the average cultivators, his strength was more than enough to make them laugh. However, Ningqing knew that his strength was far from enough. This time he would go to the Heavenly Dao public square, maybe he would meet Wen Han, or even that sickly man from the Red Star Sword faction. If he met that sickly man, then he would not have anything to say, and would just run away. But if he met Wen Han, Ningqing would not be willing to run away. He and this person did not know each other, yet this person had plotted against him several times to kill him. How could Ningqing let go of Wen Han? He was not someone who would slap his face on one side, and then immediately send the other side to the other side. In a completely unreasonable situation, when people slapped him, if he did not return 10 slaps, then he would absolutely not feel comfortable in his heart, not to mention that Wen Han wanted to kill him. It was a pity, if his golden core had not been burnt by the flames, then with his profound core 7th level cultivation, he would definitely be able to kill that soul essence 3rd level female cultivator. Moreover, with his profound core 7th level cultivation, he estimated that he would not be afraid of Wenhan. Profound core 7th level was equivalent to the late stages of the profound core realm, while profound core 6th level was equivalent to the intermediate stages of the profound core realm. The gap between them was not as simple as just a single level. He must cultivate to the profound core 7th level before going to the Heavenly Tao public square. Ningqing thought until here and immediately stopped. He did not have any backing in the Tian continent, although Elder Bei was good to him, but that was because he was also a disciple of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. In other words, Elder Bei must have had the same attitude towards Wenhan. With just a little more than 10 million spirit stones on him, would he be able to cultivate to the profound core 7th level? It would be great if he had a few spiritual mist pills. The spiritual mist pills were the best pills for profound core cultivators to break through their bottlenecks. He also had a few mist orchids on him, but unfortunately he did not have the ability to turn the mist orchids into spiritual mist pills. The spiritual mist pill was a rank 5 profound pill. As such, he was not able to refine it. Ningqing rubbed his head. Strength, strength. How could I be so stupid? Ningqing suddenly remembered that he still had 1,000,000 contribution points. Although these contribution points could not be exchanged for soul condensing pills, but he could exchange them for spiritual mist pills. No, I should first go to the place where I did the last assignment. Ningqing thought of the contribution points, and immediately thought of the ancient immortal cave where he did the last assignment, causing his heart to immediately look forward to it. At that time, before he had left, he had warned the life essence of the ancient immortal cave. He had told the life essence to remember to bury some good things in the place. Maybe that life essence would really be fooled by him. Thinking of this, Ningqing's heart immediately turned fiery. He no longer had the thought of returning to the academy to exchange for the spiritual mist pills. Under the flashing of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, he instantly rushed towards the wasteland where the great Liang True Country and the northern Shang True Country had once fought, which was also the place where the ancient immortal cave had appeared. The twin wings of the heavenly clouds had already reached rank 2. As such, Ningqing unscrupulously wielded it at this time. In just a short day, Ningqing once again arrived at this place. This place was still desolate, with potholes everywhere, and with the broken weapons and magical weapon fragments lying around, it made this place look even more desolate. Ningqing put away the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, as he fully stretched out his spiritual consciousness. He quickly found the place where he had disappeared, and then quickly escaped through the earth into the ground. With Ningqing's current cultivation, although he could not use the earth escape technique to escape, using the earth escape technique to enter the ground, he did not feel any pressure at all. Ningqing originally did not cultivate an earth attribute cultivation method, coupled with the fact that he had to find out if there was anything underground, coupled with the fact that his spiritual consciousness was limited underground. As such, his speed was incomparably slow. Fortunately, Ningqing's spiritual consciousness was tempered in the chaotic star space, which made it incomparably powerful. Even if it was underground, the scope of his search was still far stronger than that of an average soul essence cultivator. After a whole day of searching, Ningqing's spiritual consciousness was exhausted, but he still could not find anything. Just when he was about to curse the life essence of the ancient immortal cave, he suddenly felt a tremor around him. Someone was fighting above. Ningqing immediately came to understand. He quickly concealed his figure, as he carefully probed upwards with his spiritual consciousness. Immediately Ningqing saw 2 soul essence 9th level cultivators engaged in an earth-shattering battle. The 2 people fighting were a man and a woman. Moreover, they did not seem to be too old. After watching for a while, Ningqing felt that something was wrong. He found that the female cultivator seemed to be staggering a bit. This female cultivator should have been poisoned. Ningqing immediately understood. To be able to poison a soul essence female cultivator, this poison was definitely not simple. Looking at the might of these 2 cultivators, he could tell that they were definitely disciples from a large academy. Thinking of this, Ningqing's heart moved, as he immediately took out a crystal ball, and began to record images. Jiang Jun, you beast, I Tan Yushan must have been blind to actually fancy a thing like you that is not even comparable to a pig or a dog. Today I finally understand, how did my master die? The female cultivator seemed to know that she would definitely die today, as she loudly cursed. The male cultivator called Jiang Jun did not speak a single word, but his actions were even more fierce. He even took out a talisman and brought it out. Ning Cheng was an expert in refining talismans. As such, when he saw the talisman, Ning Cheng immediately knew that this male cultivator was using a rank 6 flame explosion talisman. From the looks of it, this male cultivator already had the absolute advantage, but now he still used the flame explosion talisman. It was obvious that he wanted to end the fight quickly. Ning Cheng sighed. He really wanted to help, but not to say that he would die if he went out. Even if he did not die, once this male cultivator used the talisman, he would not have enough time to help. With a violent explosion, the female cultivator was blown away. But the male cultivator did not show any mercy, as a flying sword instantly pierced through the glabella of the female cultivator. Chapter 285. That male cultivator was very decisive. After killing that female cultivator, not only did he take away all the things of that female cultivator, he even melted the corpse of that female cultivator, before quickly leaving. What a vicious fellow, Ning Cheng thought in his heart. This female cultivator called Tan Yushan was obviously that male cultivator's Dao companion. As such, this male cultivator did not show even half a shred of leniency in killing her. Unfortunately, his cultivation was just too poor. If he was at the great circle of the profound core realm, he would absolutely not be able to bear it, and would have definitely gone up to fight. After the male cultivator left, Ning Cheng did not leave. Rather, he continued to search underground. Another day passed by, and Ning Cheng's patience was almost worn out, when a tiny jade box appeared in the range of his spiritual consciousness. Ning Cheng first came to the side of this jade box, and swept out with his spiritual consciousness. He was sure that this jade box did not have any spiritual consciousness markings, nor did it have any restrictions. Only then did he grab the jade box in his hands. Such a jade box was abruptly placed here. It was definitely placed here by that old fogey. This fellow also knew to be afraid, but wasn't that old fogey a bit too stingy? How many things could such a small jade box hold? Ning Cheng opened the jade box in his hands, not waiting for his spiritual consciousness to touch the jade box. An extremely rich spiritual qi immediately caused Ning Cheng's cultivation to loosen up. It seemed that as long as he sat down and cultivated, he would soon be able to rush to the profound core 7th level. Not even thinking about it, Ning Cheng once again closed the jade box. What the hell was this thing? How could it have such a rich spiritual qi? Moreover, this spiritual qi was completely different from the spiritual qi in the small spiritual domain. It was even dozens of grades higher. Not only did it not have any side effects, but it also gave off a refreshing feeling, even allowing one's perception to deepen a bit. Whatever that old fogey left behind was definitely a good thing. Ning Cheng immediately began to arrange a concealment array formation. After arranging the concealment array formation, Ning Cheng entered his miniature world with the fastest speed possible. Once inside his miniature world, Ning Cheng once again took out the jade box and opened it. The rich spiritual qi spread out. Even the spiritual grasses inside the miniature world turned more verdant. Grey Toot Toot, who was sleeping in the middle of the spiritual grasses, immediately got up, wagged its tail and ran towards Ning Cheng. There was only a small piece of broken crystal stone in the jade box. This broken crystal stone was crystal clear, and looked extremely comfortable. What kind of crystal stone is this? How can there be such dense spiritual qi? Ning Cheng muttered to himself in shock. He quickly recalled that when he cultivated outside the burning harmony immortal mansion, the spiritual qi also seemed to contain this kind of aura. It was just that the aura of this crystal was countless times richer than the aura of spiritual qi outside He's immortal mansion. Good stuff. Ning Cheng could feel his cultivation loosening up. He felt sure that this small piece of stuff was a supreme treasure. Unfortunately, the old fart was too stingy. If he had given him hundreds of these things, would he still need to worry about cultivation resources? This idea only flashed in Ning Cheng's mind for a moment, before he threw it aside. The next moment, Ningcheng sat down and began to absorb the small piece of broken crystal stone in his hand for cultivation. The inexhaustible spiritual qi within the crystal stone was completely absorbed by Ningcheng, which was then repeatedly tempered by his golden core. In just the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, Ningcheng's golden core once again returned to the state it was in before it spontaneously combusted. A faint golden color started to swirl above his core lake. Ningcheng did not even need to put in any effort, as his cultivation broke through to the profound core 7th level for the second time. This time, after breaking through to the profound core 7th level, Ningcheng felt that his strength had risen by leaps and bounds. However, there was not even half a shred of yang qi burning his body. Sure enough, it was a good thing. Ningcheng did not stop, as he continued to absorb the spiritual qi from the crystal stone for cultivation. Not knowing for how long, Ningcheng once again felt his entire body shake, as the barrier between the profound core 7th level and the profound core 8th level finally broke through without any hindrance. The vigorous and powerful true essence rushed through his meridians a few times, while his sea of consciousness also expanded once again, letting Ningcheng know that his cultivation had once again advanced. How could there be such a terrifying crystal stone under the heavens? Ningcheng was shocked as he looked at the small piece of broken crystal stone in his hand. The shock in his heart was not because of the crazy increase in his cultivation, but because this crystal stone was simply too heaven-defying. Ningcheng was aware that his cultivation was a bottomless pit of resources. Even if he absorbed millions of spirit stones for a few months, his cultivation would still be limited. But now with such a small piece of broken crystal stone, even after his cultivation advanced from the profound core 6th level to the profound core 8th level, even the color of the crystal stone did not change much. Just how terrifying was the spiritual qi contained in this small piece of crystal stone. Even if he could recover from the profound core 6th level to the profound core 7th level, but advancing from the profound core 7th level to the profound core 8th level was a genuine advancement. Moreover, he could even feel that when he absorbed this crystal stone to break through the barrier between his cultivation, he would not even need to expend any effort at all. The barrier was like water flowing into a canal, as it automatically broke through. After the spiritual qi from the crystal stone was absorbed, not only was it rapidly transformed, but there was also not even half a shred of discomfort. Ningcheng was amazed for a long time, but did not continue to cultivate. It was not that he did not want to cultivate, but he was reluctant to part with this small piece of broken crystal stone. His cultivation was different from others. The further he went, the more cultivation resources he would need. In the future, in case he was unable to break through the barrier between his cultivation, he could always use this small piece of crystal stone. In case he used it up in the profound core realm, what would he do in the future? It would be great if he could meet that old fogey again. If he met that old fogey again, he would definitely swindle some of that old fogey's crystal stone. However, Ningcheng could also guess that this old fogey did not have many of these things. If he had a lot of them, then he would not have just given him a fragment. Calculating that he had been delayed in this place for another half a month, Ningcheng quickly and carefully put away the crystal stone in a jade box. Coming out of the miniature world, he quickly rushed out of the ground. With this crystal stone, it was clear that he had to make preparations to condense his own soul essence. He had to make a trip to the Heavenly Tao Public Square. Moreover, he had to rush there at the most lively time. With his current cultivation at the profound core 8th level, even if he met a soul essence 9th level cultivator, if he wanted to escape, it would not be a problem for him. The only thing he was worried about was meeting that sickly man in the Heavenly Tao Public Square. The people from the major academies in the Heavenly Tao Public Square were all present. There were also many Crucible Transformation elders from the Rainbow Fall Sword sect present. Presumably, even if they saw that sickly man, the opposite party would not dare to do anything to him. The Heavenly Tao Academy had always been famous in the Tian continent. In the early years, it was once the premier academy in the Tian continent, and its strength was so formidable that it could even be compared to the entire Tian continent. However, since a few thousand years ago, a love triangle appeared in the Heavenly Tao Academy, causing it to decline. At that time, the most talented disciple of the Heavenly Tao Academy, Yan Fenghua, fell in love with two other female disciples, Sang Yan and Su Binglan. Because Yan Fenghua found it difficult to choose between Sang Yan and Su Binglan, and because Sang Yan and Su Binglan were not willing to share the same husband, it finally led to a duel between Sang Yan and Su Binglan. This was the peak period of the Heavenly Tao Academy, and Sang Yan and Su Binglan were also the most talented disciples of the Heavenly Tao Academy. The duel between the two disciples made the masters of the two people dissatisfied, and finally the masters of the two female disciples also ended up fighting. In any academy, there would always be an existence of influence. Sang Yan and Su Binglan's masters each had the support of an elder, and with the support of the elders from both sides, this matter went out of control, and finally turned into a big melee. Yan Fenghua belonged to the academy head's faction. No matter which side he helped, it would be a matter of crooked buttocks. As a result of the hesitation of the academy head, the damage to the academy was immeasurable. Both Sang Yan and Su Binglan's master had died in battle. Although the battle had calmed down in the end, Sang Yan and Su Binglan were both physically and mentally injured. They had to leave the Heavenly Law School, and the experts in the school had also fallen apart. After Sang Yan left the Heavenly Law School, she established the Fluttering Snow Palace. However, after Su Binglan left the Heavenly Tao Academy, she established the Severing Emotions Tao sect, and even established the sect edict, stating that all men under the heavens were heartless people, and to enter the Severing Emotions Tao sect, one must first sever their emotions, otherwise they would not be able to enter the sect. Now the Severing Emotions Tao sect and the Floating Snow Palace were also one of the top 10 academies. As such, the fame of their academies was not one bit inferior to the Heavenly Tao Academy. Even though the Heavenly Tao School had declined, its style was still incomparable to the other sections. When Ningqing arrived at the Heavenly Tao public square, he couldn't help but exclaim in his heart. This public square was almost the same as a city. Among all the public squares, the Heavenly Tao public square was probably the one with the most complete functions. As long as you can think of a shop, you can find it here. Just entering the Heavenly Tao public square, Ningqing simply did not know where the great meat of the academies was. Rather than a public square, it was more like a combination of countless makeshift markets. Ningqing even saw an underground fighting pot. Looking at the two words fighting pot, Ningqing couldn't help but recall the time when he had just arrived at the Tsongqing province, when Ji Luofei, in order to give him a qi gathering stone, went to the fighting pot and risked her life. He also remembered telling Ji Luofei that in the future, he would completely destroy that fighting pot. He did not expect that a few years later, he would actually appear in the Tian continent, which was countless miles away from the Ping continent, and did not know when he would be able to go back. Recollecting his thoughts, Ningqing stepped into the bustling Heavenly Tao Street. He did not have much interest in the great meat of the academies. What he was interested in was whether or not he could find the soul-condensing pill in this place, even if it appeared in an auction. Ningqing walked into a decent-sized pill house. Although the inside of this pill house looked bigger than the outside, it was still overcrowded. From this, it could be seen that for the Tian continent's great meat of the academies, there were many cultivators who came to the Heavenly Tao public square. "Excuse me, do you have any clean lotus pills for sale?" A slightly hoarse voice came from the side of Ningqing. Hearing this question, Ningqing immediately thought of the Blood River Red Lotus. The clean lotus pill was refined from the Blood River Red Lotus. This kind of pill could not only purify the impurities in a cultivator's body, but it also had the effect of removing pill toxins. In addition to this, it also had another characteristic, that is, it could help a profound core cultivator to break through a bottleneck, and even had a certain effect on early-stage soul essence cultivators. However, very few people would use the clean lotus pill to break through a bottleneck, because the Blood River Red Lotus was simply too precious. Ningqing saw that the cultivator who asked about the clean lotus pill already had the cultivation of early-stage soul essence realm. It was obvious that he was not asking about the clean lotus pill to break through a bottleneck, but rather to purify the pill toxins in his body. The shop assistant replied in a very enthusiastic manner. "The clean lotus pill is a rare pill. Senior can only obtain it if you go to the Heavenly Tao Exchange main hall. It is very rare for a pill house to sell this kind of pill." The Heavenly Tao Exchange Main Hall is filled with cultivators from all over the world. Everyone would bring their own precious treasures to exchange with each other. However, one must have at least 1 or 2 treasures to enter, otherwise one would need to have at least 50 million spirit stones to be able to enter. I understand, many thanks. The hoarse voice of the soul essence cultivator casually thanked the shop assistant, before he immediately turned around and left. Ning Chung, on seeing this soul essence cultivator leave, quickly followed after him. This kind of cultivator exchange main hall was exactly the place he wanted to go. Chapter 286. The Heavenly Tao Public Square's cultivator exchange hall was very easy to find. As Ning Chung followed the soul essence cultivator through the main street, he was already able to see the luxurious and spectacular cultivator exchange hall. From afar, he could see a few giant golden characters suspended in front of the main hall, Heavenly Tao Public Square Cultivator Exchange Hall. When Ning Chung arrived outside the luxurious hall, he found that even the entrance was guarded by 2 soul essence cultivators, a man and a woman. Friend, do you want to go in to exchange items or conduct a magical technique exchange? Ning Chung had just arrived at the entrance, when the female cultivator took the initiative to ask. Ning Chung quickly replied, I am here to exchange items. Can we also conduct a magical technique exchange here? Of course, the Heavenly Tao Public Square's Cultivator Exchange Hall is not only for magical technique exchange, but also for cultivation methods, obstacles to advancement, and even higher level things. The female cultivator proudly replied. Although Ning Chung had joined the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, but to be honest, he had never gone to the training hall to study. He had also obtained some cultivation experience from others, but it was far from enough for his own cultivation needs. Now that he could practice cultivation methods here, Ning Chung immediately wanted to go in and have a look. Making up his mind, Ning Chung immediately spoke up. I want to exchange items, and also want to take a look at the magical technique exchange hall. But the entrance fee is 50,000 spirit stones. At the same time, you need to prove that you have a rank 6 or above spiritual object, or at least 50 million spirit stones. The female cultivator quickly spoke up. It was estimated that she had spoken this sentence many times. It was really expensive. Ning Chung thought in his heart, this place could be considered as a high-class club on earth. Even going in for 50,000 spirit stones, it was simply too much. Ning Chung took out a pair of Blood River red lotuses and spoke. My pair of red lotuses should be qualified to go in, right? Blood River red lotuses? Of course you are qualified. This thing is extremely rare. After you go in, you will definitely be sought after. The female cultivator revealed a trace of surprise, and then spoke up. You can also tell us what you need. We will mark it on the back of your needs. Ning Chung pondered for a moment and spoke. I need cultivation resources for soul essence cultivators, either soul condensing pills, or spiritual objects to advance to the soul essence realm. Okay. The female cultivator nodded. Ning Chung now had the cultivation of profound core 8th level, as such wanting soul condensing pills was very normal. The female cultivator handed a black and white jade card to Ning Chung and spoke. You can go in now. If you want to buy anything, you can bid on the array formation screen. Ning Chung did not know much about this kind of bidding, but he did not continue to ask about it, and instead directly entered the exchange hall. This kind of thing was something that he would definitely be able to understand after entering the hall. After entering the main hall, Ning Chung finally understood what was going on. The Great Hall was incomparably huge, and there were many seats in the middle of the Great Hall. All of the seats were occupied by various cultivators. These cultivators were either whispering to each other or drinking spirit tea. There were many stalls around the hall. Some cultivators had placed their items on the stalls, waiting for people to come and inquire about them. Ning Chung took a look and found that the things on these stalls were all good things. Even the lowest spiritual grasses were rare rank 5 spiritual grasses. At the top of the hall, there were 10 huge array formation display screens. Ning Chung was able to see a row of words at the top of one of the displays. Cultivator number 436 is bringing a pair of Blood River red lotuses to participate in the General Assembly, and is in need of a soul condensing pill. a type of spiritual object that can help a profound core cultivator advance to the soul essence realm. Ningqing looked at the jade card in his hands and found that it was inscribed with the number 436. He calmed his heart down and began to look for something similar to the soul condensing pill on the display screen. Hey, a new pair of Blood River Red Lotuses has appeared. It really is a Blood River Red Lotus. This kind of thing is really rare. That's right, although the grade of the Blood River Red Lotus is not high, but it is extremely rare. As Ningqing's Blood River Red Lotus appeared on the display screen, all kinds of discussions immediately broke out. Not long after, some information appeared below the Blood River Red Lotus. Number 941 is willing to use spirit stones to purchase the Blood River Red Lotus. The specific price can be negotiated in person. Number 63 is willing to use a broken core pearl, along with a magical weapon to exchange. In just a twinkling of an eye, a row of small characters appeared below Ningqing's Blood River Red Lotus. Ningqing looked at this information and was immediately overjoyed in his heart. Paying 50,000 spirit stones in this place was not expensive at all. This was equivalent to everyone being able to take out their own things for auction. This kind of exchange gathering was really to his liking. Ningqing looked at the more and more information appeared below the Blood River Red Lotus, as he already had a plan in mind. Although the Blood River Red Lotus was rare, but it was not a particularly precious thing. As such, he intended to occupy a booth and put the Blood River Red Lotus on display. Just when Ningqing was looking for a booth, two quarreling voices arrived. Aren't you being too unreasonable? I do not agree with your price. What do you want? This was a voice filled with anger, but with a hint of sullenness. The other voice was very calm. You have already agreed to sell your things to me, and now you do not agree with my price. Are you trying to play with me? This is the exchange hall, not a place for you to play with people. Not to mention that your Rainbow Fall Sword sect is not one of the top 10 academies. Even if it was one of the top 10 academies, it would not be qualified to play with people here. Ningqing originally did not care about it, but when he heard the words Rainbow Fall Sword sect, he immediately focused his attention on it. The quarrel was between two profound core cultivators. One was at profound core 7th level, while the other was at profound core 9th level. That profound core 7th level cultivator's face turned even redder as he spoke. When did I say anything about an academy? Don't drag the academy into this. That's right, your Rainbow Fall Sword sect is at the bottom of the tournament for the profound core disciples. It is even worse than some of the second-rate academies. If you don't drag the academy into this, then you would at least lose a bit of face. This profound core 9th level cultivator spoke in a calm voice, and even put the words Rainbow Fall Sword sect in his mouth. The profound core 7th level cultivator's morale was somewhat trembling, as he blurted out, Your Red Star Sword faction is not necessarily that powerful. Compared to my Rainbow Fall Sword sect, it is only about the same. The profound core 9th level cultivator gave a smile. It is indeed about the same. In this Tian continent's great meet of the academies, I even managed to reach the 4th place in the Profound Core Realm Group competition, and was ranked 40th in the overall ranking list. What about your Rainbow Fall Sword sect? If I remember correctly, in the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's Profound Core preliminary round, wasn't the best evaluation in the top 90s? I alone am enough to take care of your Rainbow Fall Sword sect. That's also true. I managed to enter the top 100 in the preliminary round. This Profound Core 9th level cultivator laughed out loud. It could be seen that he was deliberately pretending to be calm. As this Profound Core cultivator laughed out loud, some of the surrounding cultivators also started laughing along with him. The Rainbow Fall Sword sect had indeed come with an imposing manner, as if once again breaking into the top 10 academies of the Tian continent was already an indisputable matter. However, in the most important preliminary round for the Profound Core Realm and Soul Essence Realm cultivators, they simply could not bring out any results. Moreover, in the Realm Skipping Challenge, they even suffered a crushing defeat. It can be said that in accordance with the current situation of the tournament, the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's status would not only not rise, but would even fall by a level. The Profound Core 7th level cultivator was even more speechless, but just as he was about to leave, he was once again stopped by the Profound Core 9th level cultivator. If you want to leave, Then you have to give me an explanation. Don't tell me you still want to force us to buy and sell? A cold voice arrived. When Ning Cheng's voice arrived, almost all the surrounding onlookers immediately stared at Ning Cheng. Who was this person to actually speak up for this profound core 7th level cultivator from the Rainbow Fall Sword sect? Hearing that it was a cultivator from the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, Ning Cheng did not hesitate to come over. Not to mention that he was a disciple of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. He even enjoyed the benefits of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's small spiritual domain. Even if it was Elder Bei's attitude towards him, Ning Cheng would still stand up and speak up for the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. What's more, this profound core 9th level cultivator was from the Red Star Sword faction, an academy that he hated the most. Who are you? When did I force you to buy and sell? This profound core 9th level cultivator's face sank as he stared at Ning Cheng and spoke out in a cold voice. Ning Cheng was just a trivial profound core 8th level cultivator, yet unexpectedly dared to question him. In his view, all those whose cultivations were not as high as his were all trivial. Even if their cultivations were higher than his, with his formidable strength, he would not care much about them. Ning Cheng simply ignored this profound core 9th level cultivator as he looked at the profound core 7th level cultivator and asked, "What is the specific matter? Can you tell me about it?" That profound core 7th level cultivator was isolated and helpless. When he heard Ning Cheng's words, he quickly spoke up. "I have 10 drops of spiritual enhancement true nectar. I originally intended to exchange them for spiritual mist pills and some spirit stones. But he only brought out 2 low-grade, spiritual mist pills and 20,000 spirit stones, and wanted to exchange them for my spiritual enhancement true nectar. I do not agree." Hearing until here, Ning Cheng finally came to a complete understanding. He was sure that this profound core 7th level cultivator's spiritual enhancement true nectar also came from him. 10 drops of spiritual enhancement true nectar was equivalent to 1/10 of the bottle that he had originally sold to the Heavenly Stars auction house. Using 2 low-grade spiritual mist pills and 20,000 spirit stones to buy it was indeed a pitiful amount. The Red Star Sword faction. This academy really does have a good reputation. Even a profound core 9th level cultivator wants to force you to buy and sell. It looks like they have some kind of inheritance. Ning Cheng spoke in a sarcastic tone. When this profound core 9th level cultivator heard Ning Cheng's words, his entire body immediately overflowed with murderous intent. How could he bear it any longer, as he raised his hand and sent out a slap towards Ning Cheng? Ning Cheng sneered in his heart. He was not even afraid of a soul essence cultivator, so why would he care about a profound core cultivator? He did not even congeal his imposing aura, as he similarly sent out a slap. Just like swatting a fly, Ning Cheng's slap was just like a sharp blade, as it directly broke through the imposing aura of this profound core 9th level cultivator, and patted the face of this profound core cultivator. This profound core cultivator's bright and clean face immediately had a bright red palm mark. If not for Ning Cheng's fear that this was the Heavenly Dao Public Square's cultivator exchange meet, he would have directly slapped away half of this cultivator's face. After a very short period of shock, this profound core 9th level cultivator immediately roared, "I'm going to kill you, you bastard." As he roared, his entire body unscrupulously released a murderous aura, while simultaneously bringing out a pair of brown-colored cloud isolating claws. At this moment, he completely forgot where he was. Such a big movement immediately attracted the attention of all the people in the exchange hall. Ning Cheng gave a sneer, but did not move at all. He did not believe that this exchange hall would allow such an unscrupulous fight. Otherwise this place would have already turned into a mess. Chapter 287. Stop, what's going on? A cold voice arrived, followed by a berserk imposing aura. The profound core 9th level cultivator, who had already brought out his magical weapon, suddenly sobered up. This place was not some random place, but rather the Heavenly Dao Exchange Hall. This profound core cultivator from the Red Star Sword faction also saw this opportunity, as the anger that filled his chest instantly subsided, as he quickly put away his magical weapon, before he cupped his fists towards a black-robed cultivator and spoke in a respectful voice, "Sir Deacon, this junior is Ding Liang from the Red Star Sword faction. For no apparent reason, this cultivator sneak attacked me and slapped me, causing me to become incomparably angry. Ning Cheng had already seen that this black-robed deacon was an expert in the soul-sculpting realm. He saw that this black-robed deacon, after listening to Ding Liang's words, turned his gaze towards him, and also cupped his fists and spoke. Sir Deacon, what happened a moment ago? There are a lot of people here who saw it. This person, relying on his higher cultivation, wanted to force this junior apprentice brother of mine to buy and sell. Moreover, he was the one who attacked me first. It was only because my strength was a little bit stronger than him that I was able to gain a slight advantage. This profound core 9th level cultivator's face turned livid as he spoke. You are stronger than me? In the Tian continent's great meet of the academies, I represented the Red Star Sword faction, and was ranked 4th in the Profound Core Realm group. Moreover, I am ranked 37th in the Profound Core Realm. Could it be that you are one of the other 36? If you want to sneak attack, then sneak attack. If you have the ability, then come at me fair and square. Ning Cheng spoke up in a calm voice. It's not that I can't come at you, but I came to the exchange hall to exchange things, not to fight with some boring people. This soul-sculpting deacon suddenly spoke up. In the Heavenly Dao Public Square's Cultivator Exchange Hall, if you encounter something that you cannot solve, then as long as both sides are in the same realm, then you can challenge each other alone. As long as both sides agree, then you can go to the battle ring on the right side. As the soul-sculpting cultivator finished, he pointed his finger towards an open space on the right side. Ning Cheng finally understood the use of the open space on the right side. It was originally used to resolve disputes. Very well, I'll be waiting for you on this battle ring. If you don't have the guts to fight, then crawl under my crotch. As a disciple of the Red Star Sword faction, I can be magnanimous and spare your dog life. Ding Liang had completely regained his composure, but even the cultivators beside him could hear the killing intent in his words. Ning Cheng simply did not pay any attention to Ding Liang's murderous tone, as he once again asked, May I ask Sir Deacon, if there are any restrictions on the fighting ring here? The black-robed deacon looked at Ning Cheng with a meaningful gaze and spoke. No, but in the Heavenly Dao Public Square's Cultivator Exchange Hall, there is basically no killing intent. At most, they would just waste the cultivation of the other party. This is also because the vast number of cultivators are giving face to the exchange hall. I understand such being the case, then I will go and have a look, and see if this Profound Core Realm's top 40 ranker from the Red Star Sword faction is a fake or not. Ning Cheng said as he was about to step onto the battle ring. The Profound Core 7th level cultivator from the Rainbow Fall Sword sect hastily pulled Ning Cheng and spoke. This senior apprentice brother, many thanks for standing up for justice. It's just that this person's cultivation is really powerful, so I'm willing to suffer a bit. Someone is afraid. As soon as this Profound Core 7th level cultivator from the Rainbow Fall Sword sect spoke out, the surrounding people immediately ridiculed him. Ning Cheng patted the shoulder of this Profound Core 7th level cultivator and spoke. You might be willing to suffer a bit, but I am not willing to suffer a loss. Saying that, Ning Cheng did not hesitate to walk towards the battle ring. You really do have some guts. Ning Cheng once again heard a sarcastic voice, causing him to subconsciously look back. An incomparably handsome male cultivator, and a beautiful female cultivator, that people would not dare to look at were standing together. This female cultivator was not even half a point worse than the Le Continent's twin lotus flowers on one branch, but was even giving off an indescribable noble aura. It was as if she had come from the 9th heaven, causing people to not dare to have even half a shred of profanity towards her. The goose yellow flower patterned robe on her body was obviously still, but it gave people a kind of elegant feeling. This kind of beauty was just like a beautiful painting. It was simply too beautiful to behold. Even Ning Cheng, who was accustomed to seeing beautiful women, could not help but secretly praise her in his heart. It seems that these two people had just come in. As such, the conflict between him and Ding Liang, these two people should not have seen it. You don't have to look at me. I am also from the Red Star Sword faction. My name is Jiang Jun. Remember what I said. My name is Jiang Jun. I am also from the Red Star Sword faction. After this incomparably handsome male cultivator finished, he suddenly turned to Ding Liang on the battle ring and spoke. Ding Liang, completely dismantle this person's muscles and bones, then take out his golden core, and then keep his dog life. Ning Cheng had seen this incomparably handsome male cultivator once before. It was the Jiang Jun who had killed his Dao companion, Tan Yushan. No wonder this person wanted to kill his Dao companion. It turned out that he had taken a fancy to such a beautiful woman. Ning Cheng's heart surged with a burst of murderous intent. Even the beautiful female cultivator standing next to him was secretly despised by Ning Cheng. This person really could not be judged by their looks, although they were beautiful, but their vision was as bad as dog shit. Ning Cheng suddenly smiled at this handsome male cultivator and spoke. Red Star Sword faction? I heard that it is an academy that does not care about face. You were wrong a moment ago. I was not looking at you a moment ago. A Zhu Beiji like you is not worthy of my attention. I was looking at the chick beside you. I was thinking, this chick is not bad. Can I ask this chick out for a cup of coffee, and then we can talk about the meaning of life in the evening? Just as Ning Cheng had guessed, when Ning Cheng spoke those words, Jiang Jun's robes began to flutter without any wind, as a terrifying murderous intent directly rushed towards Ning Cheng. You're courting death. Ning Cheng immediately cupped his fists towards the soul-sculpting realm deacon and spoke. Sir Deacon, I now want to fight with this Ding Liang on the battle ring. Although I know that the Red Star Sword faction likes to do dirty things, but I have not even stepped onto the battle ring. Yet the people from the Red Star Sword faction are already prepared to join forces to deal with me. May I ask this, sir, if this is in line with the rules? The soul-sculpting realm deacon suddenly gave a cold snort and spoke. Jiang Jun, retract your murderous intent. Otherwise my cultivator exchange hall will directly ask you to leave this place. In the Heavenly Dao Cultivator Exchange Hall, anyone who uses the battle ring to settle disputes can only be done one-on-one. Moreover, it is not allowed to cross realms to challenge. Even if Jiang Jun was more powerful, he would not dare to ignore the deacon in this place. Hearing those words, he could only retract his murderous intent towards Ning Cheng, while at the same time suppressing the hatred in his heart, as he cupped his fists towards the deacon and spoke. I understand, he will soon not even be able to speak. Senior apprentice brother Jiang, you can rest assured that I will let this madman know what regret is. I will dig out his golden core, and trample it under my feet. Ding Liang, who was already standing on the battle ring, stared at Ning Cheng and spoke word by word. Ning Cheng raised his middle finger towards Ding Liang and spoke. I am not your senior apprentice, brother. Your dog eyes are looking at the wrong place. It's just a loose tongue. Jiang Jun shook his head. Just as Ning Cheng walked onto the battle ring, the beautiful female cultivator that Ning Cheng despised suddenly asked, What did you mean by Zhu Beiji and drinking coffee? Ning Cheng did not think that this female cultivator would not only be expressionless, but also had a strong thirst for knowledge, and would even ask him about such trivial matters. What you want to know is very simple. Just come out with me alone at night, and you will know. Ning Cheng spoke without any care. I'm afraid that after you fight, you will not be able to come out. The female cultivator calmly spoke. Ning Cheng gave a smile. It doesn't matter. You can carry me out on your back, not to mention what if I can still come out. Good. Then I'll go out with you to drink coffee tonight. The female cultivator spoke in a flat tone, as if it was a very trivial matter. But Ning Cheng spoke in an exaggerated manner. You really want to go out with me to drink coffee, ah? Aren't you afraid that I would covet your beauty, and then use some bewitching poison to knock you out, and then get on top of you, and then kill you, and then look for a new lover, ah? I really am that kind of person. Some of the cultivators who knew who this female cultivator was, immediately had their faces change. This profound core 8th level cultivator's courage was simply too big, simply did not know how to write the word death. He actually dared to speak in such a manner to a true inheriting disciple of the floating snow palace, with her cultivation at the great circle of the soul essence realm. She could easily turn Ning Cheng into dust with just a lift of her hand. What was even more unexpected was that this beautiful female cultivator actually nodded and replied, I'm not afraid. Very good. I like this kind of woman like you. By the way, will you find an opportunity to get on top of me, and then kill me? Ning Cheng gave a thumbs up, as he asked another inexplicable question. This beautiful female cultivator still calmly replied, I am not a person from the Severing Emotions Dao sect, and will not get on top of you, and then kill you. Hey, you even know what it means to get on top of me? Amazing. That is to say, after you get on top of me, you will not kill me? Ningqing once again gave a thumbs up in praise. Enough. If you want to fight, then hurry up. If you don't want to fight, then just get the fuck out of here. Jiang Jun finally could not help but berate him. He suddenly had some doubts that Ningqing's words were specifically aimed at him, but when he killed Tan Yushan, he was 100% sure that there was no one around. How could this puny profound core cultivator know about it? Not only did his words reflect it, but it even reflected that he had used poison? He was definitely thinking too much. It was definitely the case. When Jiang Jun spoke those words, Ningqing had just walked onto the battle ring. Ding Liang, who had been waiting for a long time, could not wait to once again bring out the Cloud Isolating Claw. The incomparably violent Cloud Isolating Claw. In just a moment, completely enveloped the entire battle ring. The entire battle ring at this time was filled with Ding Liang's murderous aura and killing intent. The spectating cultivators at this time could only see Ningqing in the midst of the endless claw shadows, as if he was at a loss as to what to do, and could only stare blankly at these claw shadows rushing towards him. Some of the cultivators had already begun to sigh, although this profound core 8th level cultivator's mouth was extremely powerful. Moreover, it was also very mean. But now that they really had to fight, it was simply not possible. At this time, some of the more perceptive cultivators saw Ningqing swaying a few times in the midst of these endless cloud isolating claw shadows. In just these few swings, he was able to get rid of those endless claw shadows. Immediately they saw Ningqing take out a black spear. The spear only slightly trembled, before it was once again put away. The cloud isolating claw shadows that enveloped the entire battle ring, when Ningqing put away his spear, also disappeared without a trace. Even Ding Liang's murderous aura had completely disappeared. Plop! A sound emerged, as Ding Liang fell onto the battle ring from the air. A broken golden core automatically rolled towards Ningqing's feet, as Ningqing unconsciously stepped on it. Chapter 288. Senior brother, avenge me. After Ding Liang finished speaking, he raised his hand and slapped the space between his eyebrows. His meridians were completely broken, and his golden core was smashed out by Ningqing and trampled under his feet. What was the point of living? The cultivators watching from the main hall only reacted at this time, as they all sucked in a mouthful of cold air. Just where did this profound core 8th level cultivator come from? Too ferocious. He actually dared to kill a profound core disciple from the Red Star Sword faction. Moreover, this disciple was also a disciple representing the Red Star Sword faction to participate in the finals of the Profound Core Realm. Ningqing slowly walked down from the battle ring, as he cupped his fists towards the soul-sculpting realm deacon, and spoke in an apologetic tone. Sir Deacon, I did not kill him, he was the one who committed suicide. The deacon nodded, turned around, and instantly left. Qin Jun's eyes were spitting fire as he spoke to Ningqing. You will pay the price for what you did today, you will soon regret it. Stop chattering. Hurry up and collect the corpse. Stop talking so much. Threatening yours truly? This young master will let you know what a real threat is. Ningqing shot a disdainful glance at Qin Jun. At this moment, none of the cultivators in the exchange hall dared to underestimate Ningqing. In the Tian continent's great meet of the academies, a cultivator who was ranked 30th in the Profound Core Realm. How could he be simple? He was definitely not a wandering cultivator. Regardless of how the Red Star Sword faction dealt with such a cultivator, it was a matter for the future. As such, it was best not to provoke them in this place. When are we going for coffee? The beautiful female cultivator, on seeing Ningqing kill Ding Liang as if he was killing a chicken, felt a bit of surprise in her eyes. Instead, she stepped forward and asked Ningqing. Ningqing waved his hand and spoke. I'm not free right now. Can't you see that I have something to do? Get out of my way. I'll talk about the coffee after I'm done with my business. Ningqing felt that this female cultivator seemed to be deliberately pestering him, which was a little strange. If he had known it would turn out like this, he would never have invited this female cultivator for coffee. If an ordinary female cultivator heard his words, they would definitely fly into a rage. How could there be such a calm reaction? She even went out for coffee with him? This made Ningqing very depressed, as he did not achieve his goal. Ningqing sympathized with Tan Yushan, who was killed by Qin Jun. As such, he found an excuse to mock and ridicule this yellow-robed female cultivator. He did not expect that the other party would not only accept it, but would also not get angry. Senior Marshal Brother, thank you for your help. I am Rainbow Fall Sword Sect's Inner Sect disciple Zhang Qian. The profound core 7th level cultivator from the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect was only able to react at this moment, as he immediately came forward to thank Ningqing in an incomparably shocked manner. As a disciple of the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect, he still had to bear this bit of responsibility. If he didn't even dare to thank someone for helping him vent his anger, then what was the point of cultivating? Ningqing gave a chuckle, as he patted the shoulder of this profound core 7th level cultivator and spoke. It's just a small matter. You don't need to be so polite. I am going to set up a booth. If you want to exchange things, then you can come to my booth and display your goods. Ningqing did not say his name. Although he was currently famous outside, although there were only a few people who had seen him, but there were definitely a lot of cultivators who had heard of Ningqing's name. He was not afraid of being exposed. He was here to do something. Even if he had to say his name, he had to at least get the soul concentrating pill. Ningqing and Zhang Qian went to the side to set up their booth, but the discussions around them did not stop. They were all guessing which academy Ningqing was from. With this kind of terrifying strength, why did he not represent his academy in the Great Meet? One had to know that this Great Meet of the academies was directly related to the interests of the major academies. Once they rushed into the Tian continent's top 10 academies, then the comprehensive benefits they could obtain would far exceed that of the average academies. This kind of strong people getting stronger, there was not a single academy that would not pay attention to it. But this profound core 8th level cultivator unexpectedly did not appear in the academy's profound core realm preliminaries. It was simply inconceivable. Blood River Red Lotus? As soon as Ningqing set up his booth, someone immediately called out in surprise. Then someone suddenly spoke up. I understand he is number 436. The cultivator who possesses the Blood River Red Lotus. Knowing that the Blood River Red Lotus was in Ningqing's hands, some of the cultivators who were in need of the Blood River Red Lotus began to squeeze in, as they inquired about the price of Ningqing's Blood River Red Lotus. Ningqing, on seeing that there were simply too many people asking, quickly stood up and spoke. My Blood River Red Lotus can only be exchanged for soul concentrating pills, or similar pills that can help one advance to the soul essence realm. This junior apprentice Brother Zhang Qian's spiritual enhancement true nectar can only be exchanged for spiritual mist pills and spirit stones. They are all good things, but unfortunately there are only 10 drops of spiritual enhancement true nectar. It is simply too little. I will use 10 medium-grade spiritual mist pills plus 100,000 spirit stones to exchange for your spiritual enhancement true nectar. How about it? I will use 2 green radish purple fruits to exchange for your Blood River Red Lotus. How about it? If not, then I will add a few more spirit stones. All kinds of exchanging voices rushed out. Zhang Qian was able to easily exchange for what he wanted, but Ningqing was not able to find a soul concentrating pill so easily. Seeing the messy offers, Ningqing once again stood up and cupped his fists and spoke. Friends, I only want something that can help me advance to the soul essence realm. Just a moment ago everyone also saw that my cultivation is a bit low, but some people are relying on their high cultivation and want to threaten me, causing me to feel very afraid in my heart. So I think that once I advance to the soul essence realm, then this kind of garbage that can threaten me would be much less. Some of the cultivators on hearing Ningqing's words secretly despised him. You call this fear? You call this arrogance? How could you be so afraid? This friend, if you are willing to believe me, then you can put away the Blood River Red Lotus. I will go and look for a soul concentrating pill for you. Then can we exchange it? At this time, the stunning female cultivator who was standing not far from Ningqing took the initiative to speak up. I'm sorry, but I do not believe you. Besides, there are still bugs around you. It would be best for you to stay far away from me. Ningqing spoke in a light voice. He really admired this Jiang Jun unexpectedly. He had not left, and was still standing beside that stunning woman. Jiang Jun, on hearing Ning Cheng's words, immediately had blue veins pop up on his hands. If not for his rationality suppressing him, then he really would not have been able to bear it. After the stunning female cultivator heard Ning Cheng's words, she immediately shut her mouth. She did not leave, nor did she let Jiang Jun leave. At this time, from a corner of the main hall, several cultivators once again came out. Although Ning Cheng was calling out for his Blood River Red Lotus, but he was actually paying attention to the situation in the main hall. When he saw the cultivators coming out from the corner of the main hall, he immediately called out in surprise, "Hey, is there another entrance to the main hall?" Some of the cultivators who wanted Ning Cheng's Blood River Red Lotus rushed to reply, "That is the place for the exchange of magical techniques and cultivation methods. As long as your jade card is black or white, then you can go there to exchange cultivation methods and cultivation methods." Ning Cheng then understood that the entrance to the magical techniques and cultivation methods of the cultivators was in the corner of the main hall. "Hey, Blood River Red Lotus?" Some of the cultivators who came out also saw Ning Cheng's Blood River Red Lotus and spoke out. Ning Cheng felt a strange gaze on him, as he followed the direction of the gaze, and saw a Taoist priestess with an incomparably cold face. At this moment, this Taoist priestess was staring at him intently. This Taoist priestess was the one who was looking at him with a surprised gaze. It turned out to be a beautiful female cultivator, but also dressed up as a Taoist priestess. She was not the slightest bit inferior to the yellow-robed woman who wanted to go out to drink coffee with him a moment ago. Her appearance was just as delicate and peerless. A pair of clear water-like eyes, coupled with a snow-white robe, made people feel that in the next moment this woman would ascend to the immortal world. Her long hair was tied up in a bun. Not only did it not affect her temperament in the slightest, it even served as a foil to the creamy skin of her neck. Her feet were unexpectedly wearing a pair of very ordinary cotton shoes. At first glance she looked like the little sister next door, but looking at her again, she actually looked like an unreachable fairy. This kind of charm made people feel that every time they looked at her, they would feel that there was something different about her. It could be said that the word fairy was used to describe her. What was even more peculiar was that she was carrying a long sword on her back. Generally speaking, cultivators would put their magical weapons into their rings, except for a very few people who would carry their magical weapons on their backs and show off. This kind of situation was really rare. Although this beautiful Taoist priestess carried a long sword on her back, but it did not have even the slightest bit of protrusion. Rather, it added a kind of indescribable flavor to her. However, a Taoist priestess wearing a white robe was also rare. Ning Cheng frowned. He felt that this female cultivator dressed up as a Taoist priestess was somewhat familiar to him. He quickly remembered, when he was in the ice house in the ancient immortal mansion, he had saved this female cultivator. No wonder the other party looked at him with some surprise. It seems that the other party had already recognized him. Ning Cheng did not care about it, as long as he recognized her. He still held up the Blood River Red Lotus in his hand and said, "If you don't have a soul-condensing pill, then I will not exchange it." "Wait, I have a soul-condensing pill." This white-robed Taoist priestess suddenly took out a jade bottle and handed it to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng took the jade bottle and looked at it, and found that there really was a soul-condensing pill inside. Moreover, it was a top-quality soul-condensing pill. Although Ning Cheng himself rarely refined top-quality pills, but the pills that he refined were all top-quality pills. But who told him to not be able to refine a soul-condensing pill? Yes, it really is a soul-condensing pill. But my qualifications are very poor, so one might not be enough, but I have a pair of Blood River Red Lotus. At least I would like to exchange it for 2 soul-condensing pills. Ning Cheng's words immediately shocked all the cultivators in the main hall. Although the Blood River Red Lotus was precious, but it was not so precious that a pair of Blood River Red Lotus could be exchanged for 2 soul-condensing pills. Not to mention too, even if it was exchanged for a single soul-condensing pill, it would still be a big profit. Moreover, many of the people here also knew this Taoist priestess, and knew that she was a true inheriting disciple of the Severing Emotions Tao sect. Wanting to take advantage of this true inheriting disciple, simply did not know the difference between life and death. However, these cultivators soon felt relieved. This profound core 8th level cultivator did not even care about the disciples of the Floating Snow Palace, as well as the disciples of the Red Star Sword faction. So why would she be polite to the disciples of the Severing Emotions Dao sect? This was simply a lunatic. Now it was time to see how this true inheriting disciple of the Severing Emotions Dao sect would deal with this lunatic. But what made the surrounding people even more surprised was that this Taoist priestess unexpectedly spoke. I only have a single soul condensing pill. Why don't you give me a stalk of Blood River Red Lotus first? Ningqing did not find it strange for this female cultivator to speak in such a manner. It could only be said that she knew how to repay kindness. In any case, he had also saved the life of the opposite party. As such, asking for a few more soul essence realm cultivation pills would not be too much, right? Ningqing put away the other party's jade bottle and picked up a stalk of Blood River Red Lotus before handing it over to the other party and spoke. It's really a pity, this Blood River Red Lotus is a pair and is forcibly separated. Forget it, you can take it, as long as you give me this stalk as compensation for the cultivation pills of a soul essence cultivator. Alas, who told me to be so soft-hearted? Chapter 289. All the people looked at Ningqing in a daze. They had seen many shameless people, but they had never seen such a shameless person. Exchanging a stalk of Blood River Red Lotus for a soul condensing pill. This was already a huge bargain, but this fellow actually wanted someone else to give him a pill for his soul essence cultivation? This was no longer a matter of thick skin. This was the rhythm of shamelessness. Ningqing could also feel the warmth on his face, although he knew that this Taoist priestess should give him a few more pills, but he also knew that he should not be in such a hurry. At the same time, Ningqing also knew that he had to urge this Taoist priestess to give him some pills. After he obtained the pill, he would immediately leave and look for a place to advance to the Essence Soul realm. This kind of matter could not be sloppy. If he waited for him to slowly buy the pills, it would take too long. As for what would happen during this process, he wasn't sure. He was not afraid. Even if the Red Star Sword faction wanted to deal with him, he could still go to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect to seek shelter. It was just that he really didn't want to waste time on such a boring thing. Once his cultivation was high enough, everything else would just be fleeting clouds. Besides, in this place, Ningqing had seen a lot of people biting the hand that fed them. He didn't have any psychological burden asking this Taoist priestess for spirit cultivation pills. It was just that he wasn't used to this practice. Sure, I still have a bottle of Azure Soul pills here. I'll give it to you as well. What made everyone surprised was that this white-robed Taoist priestess unexpectedly agreed to Ningqing's words, as she took out a jade bottle and handed it to Ningqing. Ningqing did not think that things would be so simple. He originally wanted to give it a try. If it really did not work, then he would just forget about it. He would immediately pack up his things and turn to leave. At this moment, even the rest of the cultivators in the exchange hall also discovered that something was wrong. Whether it was the true inheriting disciples of the Floating Snow Palace, or the true inheriting disciples of the Severing Emotions Dao sect, all of them had a very strong tolerance towards this little profound core 8th level cultivator. Thank you, Senior Martial Sister. You will be forever young and live for 100 years. Goodbye, we will meet again someday. Ningqing put away the pill, turned around and walked away, without even half a word. The white-robed Taoist priestess suddenly gave a faint smile. I am already a cultivator at the Great Circle of the Soul Essence realm. And if I take another step forward, I would be able to advance to the Soul Sculpting realm. As such, my lifespan is not limited to just 100 years. Are you congratulating me or mocking me? Ningqing was suddenly at a loss for words. He did not think that he would be choked by a Taoist priestess. He came from Earth, so he was used to thinking that wishing others eternal youth and longevity was a compliment. But in this place, it was too easy to stay young forever. 100 years old was a short-lived ghost. Well then, I wish you a long life. Goodbye. Ningqing could not wait to leave again. Are we going for coffee now? The beautiful yellow-robed female cultivator, who had been waiting for Ningqing, suddenly appeared in front of Ningqing again. Ningqing rubbed his head and said, Little girl, today I have something urgent to do. Next time I will call you to drink coffee. Anything is fine, white wine, rice vinegar, soy sauce, cola, Sprite, waha, but not today. Goodbye. Are you afraid that the people from the Red Star Sword faction will find you? So you want to find a place to advance to the soul essence realm first. This yellow-robed female cultivator suddenly spoke up. How did you know? You're too smart. I was threatened a moment ago, and was indeed a bit worried, so I wanted to find a place to improve my cultivation. Ningqing gave out a helpless cry, as he spoke a few words of nonsense. He really wanted to find a place to advance to the soul essence realm, but if the Red Star Sword faction wanted to openly deal with him, it would be impossible. With his twin wings of the heavenly fate and the true Brahma Buddha fire wheel, even a crucible transformation cultivator might not necessarily be able to catch up to him. The yellow-robed female cultivator spoke indifferently. It's useless. If you go out now, you will definitely be targeted by others. Even if you have a good method, it would still be difficult to escape. However, if you come with me to drink coffee, then it would not be a problem. Ningqing was very disdainful. Even if he had a good method, it would still be difficult to escape. He did not believe that a crucible transformation cultivator would be able to enter the chaotic star space. In other words, without a woman like you, I would not be able to go out? Today I will go out, and will not invite you to drink coffee. What can you do about it? Ningqing spoke with disdain. This woman was together with Jiang Jun, this kind of scum, and always spoke with a nonchalant appearance, which made Ningqing feel very uncomfortable. She is the Floating Snow Palace's Yin Kongchan, the premier disciple of the Floating Snow Palace. It's not that she can't advance, it's that she doesn't want to advance for now. Suingde, you are also not bad. Since you have not advanced to the soul sculpting realm, I guess that you still have not severed your emotions, and want to harm others. In any case, this is the usual method of your severing emotions Dao sect. Yin Kongchan spoke out in a similarly cold voice. Ningqing suddenly felt a bit more clear in his heart. Elder Bei had left behind a jade strip for him, saying that the severing emotions Dao sect and the Floating Snow Palace had come to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect to propose marriage to him. Could it be these two women? If it was these two women, then Ningqing would have completely understood why these two women had zero tolerance towards him a moment ago. But what did he have that made these two women take a liking to him? Ningqing absolutely did not believe that these two women really took a fancy to him. If severing emotions Dao sect's Su Yingde wanted to sever her emotions, then what kind of person could she not sever from? Why did they have to find him? Seeing that there were so many men and women around her, it was really too easy to choose. There was also that Yin Kongchan. Ningqing did not believe that this woman would not be able to get married. Did she not see Jiang Jun sticking to her like a dogskin plaster? I know who he is. He is Ningqing, the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's Ningqing. More than half a year ago, he had saved more than 100 core disciples from the major academies in the ancient immortal cave. After Ningqing heard this voice, he knew that he had already been recognized. Ningqing was not worried about being recognized by others. If they recognized him, then they would have to be even more scrupulous in dealing with him. Not to mention that he had not changed his appearance, and had already planned to seek shelter from the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. No wonder he is so powerful. I heard that he was not even afraid of the life essence of the ancient immortal cave. What is this? Did you not hear him cursing at the Red Star Sword faction's crucible transformation Elder Tang? This voice only spoke half of it, and did not continue the rest of the words, presumably because they knew that there was a disciple from the Red Star Sword faction here. Ningqing, on hearing this, simply cupped his fists and spoke. Friends, that's right, I am Ningqing. Now that everyone knows who I am, then I would like to make a business deal with everyone here today. I still have a small bucket of spiritual enhancement true nectar on me. Initially I had to use half a scoop to wash my hands, which made me feel very distressed. Of course, the reason why I used the spiritual enhancement true nectar to wash my hands is also well known to everyone. As such, I will not say anything more about it. In addition to the spiritual enhancement true nectar, I also have a 9-colored mirage stone, which I had obtained by chance. After Ningqing was recognized, he simply revealed the things he had on him. When these cultivators heard Ningqing reveal his things, they immediately held their breaths. The rumors were indeed true. Ningcheng not only had the spiritual enhancement true nectar, but also a 9-colored mirage stone. But I am timid and my cultivation is low. Putting such good things on me always makes me feel somewhat scared. There are some academies who would think of a way to cheat me of my things through a variety of means. Moreover, I am quite an honest person. In case I end up being cheated, then I would definitely regret it to death. Today, I will take this opportunity to exchange these two things, whether it is spirit stones or magical weapons, or even heavenly materials and earthly treasures. As long as it can satisfy me, I will exchange it. Saying that, Ningcheng directly took out a jade barrel and placed it on top of his booth, and then took out a jade box and placed it on top of his booth. Since he had been recognized, sooner or later he would have to leave this place and find a place to cultivate. It would be better to earn some spirit stones before leaving this place. If he sold all the things on him, then wouldn't the Severing Emotions Dao sect and the Floating Snow Palace have already given up on him? So you are senior apprentice, Brother Ning. That's great. Zhang Qian spoke with a surprised look on his face, while simultaneously preparing to help Ningcheng. Ningcheng's jade barrel did not have any restrictions, nor did it have a lid. All the people could clearly see it at a glance, that the jade barrel contained the spiritual enhancement true nectar. Regardless of whether Ningcheng's mirage stone was real or not, with so much spiritual enhancement true nectar being sold at once, the price would definitely not be too high. Senior apprentice Brother Ning, what is the price of this spiritual enhancement true nectar? Elder Brother Ning, the cultivators here could not afford to buy a mirage stone. But if the spiritual enhancement true nectar was not for the spiritual mist pill, and only for spirit stones, then everyone would be able to afford it. Everyone, a drop of spiritual enhancement true nectar costs 20,000 spirit stones. The price of the mirage stone can be negotiated. If you want a lot of spiritual enhancement true nectar, then you can only barter for it. As soon as Ningcheng's price came out, it immediately caused a sensation, as anyone could afford this price. Among the cultivators who could come here, who did not have hundreds of thousands or even millions of spirit stones on them. I want 50 drops. I want 30 drops. In just a short period of time, Ningcheng's booth had gone crazy, regardless of their origin. All of them wanted to buy the spiritual enhancement true nectar. Such a cheap thing. If they missed it this time, then where else would they be able to buy it? Even Yin Kongchan and Suing Day could not help but buy 50 drops each. Ningcheng's barrel was not small, but even so his half-barrel of spiritual enhancement true nectar was quickly sold out. This half-barrel of spiritual enhancement true nectar gave him an additional 80 million spirit stones. In fact, Ningcheng knew that this price was even cheaper than the price he sold it at the Heavenly Stars auction house. But who made him have so many of these things? Elder Brother Ning, I just received a request from the Academy. They are willing to pay 200 million spirit stones, plus 4 high-quality soul condensing pills, to buy your half-barrel of spiritual enhancement true nectar. An eager voice sounded out, and at this time, Ningcheng's half-barrel of spiritual enhancement true nectar had just been sold out. Such a high price? Ningcheng's face showed an extremely shocked and regretful expression. Oh, I sold it too cheaply. Unfortunately. Why didn't you say so earlier? Now I estimate that the amount of spiritual enhancement true nectar in my hands is the least among all the cultivators here. It's a pity that I died. Ningcheng sighed, and then cupped his fists and spoke. Friends, because I sold the spiritual enhancement true nectar to you at the lowest price, I ended up missing an opportunity to make a fortune. Everyone must remember this. These cultivators had all obtained Ningcheng's spiritual enhancement true nectar, and all smiled in agreement with Ningcheng. Only the cultivator who offered 200 million spirit stones showed a disappointed look in his eyes. Ningcheng knew that the other party's disappointment was not really because he did not manage to buy half a barrel of spiritual enhancement true nectar, but because he really did not have any spiritual enhancement true nectar on him. Chapter 290. No one made an offer for the mirage stones, which was within Ningcheng's expectations. Although everyone wanted a 9-colored mirage stone, but they all knew that it was a hot potato. Moreover, It was difficult to name a price because this thing did not have a clear price tag. Ningcheng felt very satisfied as he put away his things, as he patted Zhang Qian's shoulder and spoke. Junior apprentice brother Zhang, I'll be leaving now. Let's meet again in the academy. Originally Ningcheng wanted to ask Zhang Qian to help him greet Elder Bei when he met him, but thinking that Zhang Qian was not qualified to talk to Elder Bei, he simply omitted it. As Ningcheng walked out of the exchange hall, Yin Kongchan and Suing Dai immediately followed him out. Jiang Jun, who was following Yin Kongchan, unexpectedly did not continue to follow them, which made Ningcheng feel a bit strange. As Ningcheng came out of the exchange hall, he immediately sped up, but even if he sped up, Yin Kongchan and Suing Dai, the two of them, were still following closely behind him. Ningcheng, who was almost out of the Heavenly Dao public square, finally stopped. He looked back at the two female cultivators who were following him and spoke. The two of you, let's not talk in riddles. Let's not talk about the reason behind your nonsense. Yin Kongchan, I am going to go into secluded cultivation. You do not have to follow me. If you want to drink coffee, then I will invite you to drink it next time when I have the time. There is also Suing Dai. I saved you once, and you also let me take advantage of you, so we can be considered to be even. And in the future we will have nothing to do with each other. My spiritual enhancement true nectar has already been sold. As such I do not have any extra for your dowry. As for the mirage stones, if you really want them, then you can go to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect to purchase them. In any case, I can't run away. Now, I'm begging the two of you to find a good family to marry. Can you stop following me? If not for these two women, he would have immediately used the twin wings of the heavenly clouds to escape, and then used the escaping talisman. Now that these two women were following him, he had no way to escape. Yin Kongchan spoke up in a calm voice. Now is not the time to discuss this issue. What matters now is how you should deal with the situation in front of you. Yin Kongchan's words had just fallen, when Ningcheng found that there were already several more cultivators surrounding them. Moreover, there were even more cultivators arriving at this place, causing the surrounding space to be completely sealed off. Ningcheng's complexion immediately changed, as he looked at Yin Kongchan, and Suing Dai, and his eyes no longer had that kind of easygoing look from before. Suing Dai seemed to know what Ningcheng was thinking in his heart, and took the initiative to speak up. Even if we do not follow you, you would not be able to escape far. With Jiang Jun's personality, it would be strange if he let you leave the Heavenly Dao public square unscathed. It's good for you that you're stopped here. Ningcheng did not have much worry in his heart. Killing Ding Liang was a completely normal challenge. If the Red Star Sword faction could use this kind of challenge as a just and honorable reason, then the Heavenly Dao Temple would truly be too weak. But now, Ningcheng felt that something was wrong. More and more cultivators had arrived here. It was as if he was a Class 1 fugitive. Since when did the Red Star Sword faction have such rallying power? You don't have to be surprised, because Ding Liang is in the Tian continent's great meet of the academies, and is ranked in the top 100 in the preliminary round of the Profound Core Realm. At this time, if one were to kill any of the cultivators who had passed through the preliminary round, they would inevitably face a detailed investigation by the entire Tian continent's sects. Otherwise, after the preliminary round of the Tian continent's great meet of the sects, there will be chaos. Yin Kongchan's words made Ningcheng sober up. If the academies, in order to get a better ranking, were to specifically assassinate the other party's powerful cultivators, then it would truly be a mess. Ningcheng, last time you saved more than 100 Tian continent's core and true inheriting disciples. Many of the Tian continent's academies are very grateful to you. But why did you kill the cultivators who had passed through the preliminary round of my Tian continent's great meet of the sects? When the voice arrived, Ningcheng felt a powerful imposing aura shrouding him, causing him to be unable to move even a little bit. Yin Kongchan and Suing Dai, who had been following him, at this time seemed to have turned mute. Unexpectedly, not even one of them stood up to speak up for him. Ningcheng cursed in his heart. He could only explain the situation in the exchange hall in detail. Humph, a bunch of nonsense. In the exchange hall of the Heavenly Dao cultivators, even if it was a fight, it would not be as vicious as you. I'm sure that this is the plot of your Rainbow Fall Sword sect. using 10 drops of spiritual enhancement true nectar to anger the profound core disciples of my Red Star Sword faction, and then taking the opportunity to kill the profound core cultivators of my Red Star Sword faction who had passed through the preliminary round. Here are the deacons of the Heavenly Tao Public Square, as well as the friends and fellow Taoists of the various major academies. Such a despicable and shameless method. Please tell me how you should deal with it. When Ning Cheng saw the cultivator who spoke, he immediately knew that his old enemy had arrived. It was the same Red Star Sword faction's sickly-looking elder Tang Gongxi, who had forced him to reveal his secret. At this time, Tang Gongxi's face was filled with murderous intent, while at his side, Jiang Jun was staring sarcastically at him. Kill him. Pinch him to death. Tang Gongxi, as a crucible transformation elder of the Red Star Sword faction, immediately received the support of many cultivators in this place. Good. Today I will not kill him. I will just take out his golden core to comfort my Red Star Sword faction's cultivator Ding Liang. If we lose Ding Liang, then my Red Star Sword faction's great meat of the profound core realm would definitely drop by a large margin. As Tang Gongxi spoke, he had already raised his hand towards Ning Cheng to grab him. Ning Cheng was extremely anxious in his heart. At this time, he simply could not move. Haha. Red Star Sword faction's Ding Liang was killed. Good kill, good kill. In the Rainbow Falls Sword Sex Station, a crucible transformation elder was laughing. Bei Youfa, who was sitting on one side, gave out a sigh. Alas, although a cultivator from the Red Star Sword faction who passed the preliminary round was killed, but it would not bring much benefit to my Rainbow Falls Sword sect. The overall level of my Rainbow Falls Sword sect's profound core realm cultivators is simply too low. That crucible transformation elder who was laughing disapprovingly spoke. Although that is the case, but looking at that Red Star Sword faction's Tang Gongxi's proud appearance, it makes me feel uncomfortable in my heart. I don't know who killed this Ding Liang, but their courage is really fat. This crucible transformation elder had not finished his words when the communication pearl on the wrist of Deputy Academy Master Tantai Fei, who was sitting on the other side, suddenly lit up. Tantai Fei's spiritual consciousness fell onto the communication pearl, and his complexion immediately changed as he stood up. What's the matter? Senior apprentice brother Tantai? Elder Bei, on seeing the Deputy Academy Master's expression, immediately felt that something was not right. Tantai Fei spoke up in a deep voice. The one who was involved in this matter was a disciple of my Rainbow Falls Sword sect. I heard that the one who killed Ding Liang was also a disciple of my Rainbow Falls Sword sect. What? Oh, that crucible transformation elder who was laughing also stood up in shock. How could the Rainbow Falls Sword sect have such a disciple? I don't know yet. As Tantai Fei spoke, his communication pearl once again lit up. After his spiritual consciousness swept through the communication pearl, he immediately spoke up. It was the inner sect disciple Zhang Qian who was being bullied by Ding Liang in the cultivator exchange hall. The inner sect disciple Ning Cheng, who had just arrived at the Heavenly Tao Public Square, was not convinced and decided to teach Ding Liang a lesson. Finally, on the battle ring of the exchange hall, Ning Cheng killed Ding Liang. Now that Ning Cheng is trapped by the deacon of the Heavenly Tao Public Square and the cultivators from the Red Star Sword faction, he is in a very dangerous situation. Who is this Ning Cheng to actually be able to beat Ding Liang? Does my Rainbow Falls Sword sect have such a powerful inner sect disciple? Right, I remember, isn't it the last time? That crucible transformation cultivator's words were immediately interrupted by Bei Youfa. Eldering, me and senior apprentice brother Tantai will immediately go and save Ning Cheng. You should quickly go and inform the Academy Master. That Red Star Sword faction's Tang Gongxi and Ning Cheng have a grudge. I'm afraid that he would not care about his old face. At the same time, a bang sound erupted not far away from Ning Cheng. Even if the restrictions around the Heavenly Tao Public Square were extremely strong, the true essence that filled the sky was still able to shake the space around the restrictions. The cultivators with poor cultivation, under this kind of shaking of the restrictions, almost vomited out a mouthful of air. Even the surrounding space, which was locked in place by the impact, started to loosen up. Ning Cheng felt relieved. Unexpectedly someone would help him. This was something that he did not expect. Dao friend who? What is the meaning of this? A cultivator from my Red Star Sword faction was killed in the Heavenly Dao public square. Yet you still want to help the murderer? Tang Gongxi asked with an ugly expression on his face. His cultivation was not as good as the other party. As such, he could only hold them accountable. The one who helped Ning Cheng was a middle-aged cultivator with a full beard. As if nothing had happened, he clapped his hands and spoke. This Ning Cheng had saved my disciple Li Lingfan's life. Even if you want to make a move, you should at least investigate the matter thoroughly before you start, right? Are you afraid that once this matter is clarified, it would be disadvantageous to you? Ning Cheng saw Li Lingfan standing next to this bearded middle-aged cultivator, and nodding towards him with a smile. He immediately understood that Li Lingfan had asked his master to help him. This person was smooth and slick. Moreover, he was also a person who knew how to repay kindness. Ning Cheng cupped his fists towards Li Lingfan from afar to show his gratitude. Humph, Tang Gongxi, I knew that you would shamelessly bully the weak. Do you think that my Rainbow Fall Sword sect is easy to bully? A familiar voice arrived, causing Ning Cheng to feel relieved. He knew that Elder Bei had arrived. In any case, as long as the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's crucible transformation cultivators arrived, this sickly man would not dare to do anything to him. Tang Gongxi's face was filled with extreme anger as he roared. Bei Youfa, this is the public square of the Tian continent's great meet of the academies. Do you think that this is the Rainbow Fall Sword sect that you can cover the sky with one hand? Ning Cheng must pay with his life. There is nothing much to say about it. As for why Ning Cheng wanted to kill people, I think that the deacon here will investigate it clearly. We have already investigated it clearly. Tang Gongxi's words had just finished, when the crucible transformation cultivator, who initially stopped Ning Cheng, spoke out. At this time, more and more cultivators started to arrive. The major academies and some rogue cultivators started to gather around to watch the excitement. Many of the cultivators who did not understand what had happened were attentively listening to the crucible transformation cultivator explain the specific reason. This crucible transformation cultivator flew into the air, as he first cupped his fists towards the surrounding cultivators and spoke. Fellow Dao friends, the Tian continent's great meet of the academies is one of the biggest events in the Tian continent. As such, we absolutely cannot allow anyone to cause trouble. Therefore, we have a mission to protect every cultivator participating in the tournament. No one can move against these cultivators without any reason. Whoever dares to take the initiative to move against the cultivators participating in the tournament will be killed without mercy. A burst of warm applause erupted. The words of the crucible transformation deacon had also attracted the approval of many of the surrounding cultivators. Chapter 291. This crucible transformation deacon continued. The matter between Ning Cheng and Ding Liang, we have already investigated it. It was Ding Liang who took the initiative to challenge Ning Cheng. In the end, his strength was not as good as Ning Cheng, and he ended up seriously injured, and then Ding Liang killed himself. Because it was not Ning Cheng who took the initiative to challenge him, and because Ding Liang's cultivation was higher than Ning Cheng's, Ning Cheng is not responsible for this matter. When the results came out, it immediately caused an even bigger sensation. Some people even suspected that this deacon was lying. Ning Cheng's cultivation was not as good as Ding Liang? Was he able to defeat Ding Liang, who was ranked in the top 40 of the Profound Core Realm preliminaries? One had to know that these 100 cultivators who passed the Profound Core Realm preliminaries could almost represent the strongest group of Profound Core cultivators in the entire Tian continent. While the others were shocked by Ning Cheng's cultivation, Ning Cheng himself was also secretly shocked in his heart. Fortunately, he did not take the initiative to challenge Ding Liang. If he took the initiative to challenge Ding Liang, then wouldn't it mean that even if he had a reason, he would still be punished? Ning Cheng thought of this, and felt a burst of discomfort in his heart. Whether one's strength was strong or not, it really was someone else who had the final say. In this place, there was no reason at all, only the rules of the strong. Ning Cheng was also aware that even if he felt uncomfortable, he did not have any right to speak here. He glanced at Jiang Jun, who was staring at him with fiery eyes, and suddenly laughed. Jiang Jun, didn't you say that I would regret it? I am still alive and well. After saying this, Ningqing did not intend to leave. He intended to return to the Rainbow Fall Sword Sex Station. I also hope that you can live well. If you die early, I will be disappointed, because you do not know how I will repay you. Jiang Jun spoke without any expression. Only he himself knew the anger in his heart. Ningqing suddenly spoke. Jiang Jun, you still want to threaten me. Although you are not worthy of me threatening you, but you can think of it as me threatening you. Jiang Jun spoke with disdain. A profound core ant was also worthy of him threatening? Ningqing gave a smile. Very well, I already said that I would let you know what a threat is. A threat is not something that can be ignored. There must be consequences. Hearing Ningqing's tone, Jiang Jun unexpectedly had a bad feeling in his heart. Why did he feel that Ningqing's tone was very strange? Ningqing ignored Jiang Jun and spoke in a clear voice. Is there anyone here who knows Tan Yushan and has a good relationship with her? When Jiang Jun heard Cheng's words, his face suddenly turned pale. He was now sure that Ningqing definitely knew about the process of him killing Tan Yushan. Humph, a mere profound core ant is so arrogant. I am Tan Yushan's elder sister, Tan Yun. Do you want to provoke my Great Change Island again? A disdainful voice arrived. Only then did Ningqing see that the woman who spoke was standing not far from Jiang Jun. From the tone of her voice, Ningqing could tell that this woman was helping Jiang Jun. Ningqing spoke with a trace of contempt in his tone. Your own sister was killed by others, and yet you still speak up for others here. The logic of your Great Change Island is indeed powerful. You dare to talk nonsense about Yushan, go to hell for me. Jiang Jun's words came out as a shadow broke through the air and arrived in front of Ningqing. Ningqing sneered. He was not an opponent of crucible transformation cultivators. Yet Jiang Jun, a mere soul essence 9th level cultivator, dared to be arrogant in front of him. This guy seemed to have a lot of talismans. This was a peak rank 6 shadowless arrow talisman. However, just as Ningqing was about to make his move, he immediately stopped, as he could feel Yin Kongchan making her move. A pair of white gloves suddenly appeared on Yin Kongchan's hands, as she raised her hand and grabbed the shadowless arrow talisman, causing the intense killing intent to instantly converge into nothingness. Junior apprentice Sister Kongchan, why are you helping this arrogant and shameless person? Jiang Jun looked at Yin Kongchan in disbelief and asked. He was confident that Yin Kongchan was quite good to him. Although Yin Kongchan would rarely be together with other male cultivators, but at least she was not disgusted with him. She even accompanied him to travel through some dangerous peaks and lofty ridges. If replaced by any other male cultivator, it would simply be an impossible thing to do. Jiang Jun's anger and resentment towards Ningqing was not necessarily due to Yin Kongchan's attitude towards Ningqing. If there was no such thing, then even if other people were to talk about it, it would not have even half a shred of effect on you. Yin Kongchan spoke in a calm and tranquil manner. Jiang Jun's anger instantly converged as he spoke. What junior apprentice Sister Kongchan said is true. I unexpectedly lost control of myself because I had some bad feelings towards this person. At this moment, Jiang Jun once again reverted to his usual demeanor as a young master, as he spoke in a calm tone, without even half a shred of anger. Ningqing gave a dark sigh in his heart. This person really was a good actor. Ningqing, why did you say that my younger sister was killed for no reason at all? My younger sister is currently in the process of sculpting her life essence. As such, you have to take responsibility for your words. You are just a little inner sect disciple of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Don't provoke too much hatred for your academy. Tan Yun spoke in a stern tone, although she did not have the disdain towards Ningqing from before, but there was still a trace of unhappiness in her tone. Ningqing gave a sneer. Whether your younger sister was killed or not, I have already told you about it. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. I do not have any obligation to make you believe it. Tan Yun no longer paid any attention to Ningqing. She suddenly slapped her glabella, forcing out a drop of essence blood, while at the same time making a few hand gestures on top of the essence blood. After a few breaths, her complexion suddenly changed. Yushan really had an accident. Who did it? Who was it? Following Tan Yun's words, several cultivators with incomparably formidable auras landed beside her. A dark-faced cultivator couldn't believe it and asked, "Did something really happen to little Miss Yushan?" Tan Yun's complexion turned pale, as she spoke one word at a time. "That's right, something really did happen to my younger sister. No matter who killed my younger sister, I will definitely extract his soul and refine it." "Jiang Jun, what the hell is going on? Why did something happen to Yushan?" Originally because the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect's Crucible Transformation cultivators came over, coupled with the deacon investigating Ning Cheng's actions. The matter of Ning Cheng killing the Red Star Sword faction's Ding Liang was considered to have come to an end, but they did not expect that the Great Reform Island's Tan Yushan would suddenly appear, which once again aroused the enthusiasm of the crowd to know the result. The Great Reform Island was also one of the top 10 academies of the Tian continent. As such, it was not an existence that could be easily bullied by others. Jiang Jun suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, as his eyes turned blood red as he cried out, "Who was it who dared to kill Yushan? If I, Jiang Jun, do not dismember your body into 10,000 pieces, then I, Jiang Jun, would not be able to call myself a human. Yushan, I will definitely avenge you." "Ning Cheng, I thought that you were just talking nonsense. I did not expect that what you said was actually the truth. Speak in the end, who is it that dared to attack Yushan? If you speak, then it would allow me to avenge Yushan. Even if I have to work like an ox or a horse for you, I would still be willing." Jiang Jun did not even bother to wipe the blood from the corners of his mouth, as he shouted out in a hoarse voice. Jiang Jun had this kind of sorrowful and miserable feeling of pain. Even the onlookers could feel sympathy in their hearts. This person's feelings towards Tan Yushan were simply too deep to think that he would actually feel such pain. After listening to Ning Cheng's words, Tan Yun, who had some suspicions towards Jiang Jun, was not sure anymore, as she also stared at Ning Cheng. After all, Ning Cheng and Jiang Jun had enmity between them. As such, splashing dirty water onto Jiang Jun's body was also normal. "Ning Cheng, just tell the truth. No one here would dare to do anything to you. Although my Rainbow Fall Sword Sect is not one of the top 10 academies, but it is also not an existence that people can bully." Seeing the several Crucible Transformation cultivators from the Great Change Island staring at Ning Cheng, as if they could not wait to immediately pounce on him, Elder Bei suddenly took the initiative to speak. Even the deacons from the Heavenly Dao Academy and the other major academies, at this time were also staring at Ning Cheng. This matter for them was not a trivial matter. Once the Great Change Island and the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect, or even the Red Star Sword faction started fighting, then this great meat of the academies would be completely destroyed. Of these three major academies, not a single one of them could be provoked. Ning Cheng suddenly gave out a sigh and spoke. "Jiang Jun, I originally thought that you were a good actor, but it seems that I was wrong. If you don't go and win the Best Actor Underwear Award, then it would be a huge loss for you. Ning Cheng, in order to help Yushan take revenge, I will endure anything you say, but please tell me in the end, who harmed Yushan? You speak. Jiang Jun's eyes were still bleeding. This kind of tragic expression really made all the people sympathize with him. "If I say it, then I will not say it." Ning Cheng's words were immediately shrouded by countless killing forces. At this moment they could not wait to tear Ning Cheng's body into 10,000 pieces. "You are courting death." Whether it was the Crucible Transformation cultivators from the Great Change Island, or the Red Star Sword faction, all of their killing forces were directed towards Ning Cheng's side. Ning Cheng's side only had Elder Bei and the Deputy Academy Master Tan Tai Fei. As such, they immediately looked somewhat clumsy. "If you do not speak today, then I will let you die miserably." Tan Yun's entire body was overflowing with killing intent, as if she would turn into a lioness at any time and swallow Ning Cheng whole. Ning Cheng swept a disdainful glance at Tan Yun. "If it were not because I sympathize with Tan Yushan, I would at least want you to pay 100 million spirit stones for me to feel comfortable." Saying that, Ning Cheng no longer paid any attention to Tan Yun, and spoke in a clear and resonant voice. "Friends, although I cannot say who did it, but everyone can clearly see who did it." Along with Ning Cheng's words, Ning Cheng immediately threw out a crystal ball. The crystal ball in the sky in just a blink of an eye turned into a huge crystal array formation screen. On the crystal array formation screen, The fight between Jiangjun and Tan Yushan was very clear. Even their expressions could be clearly seen. Jiangjun, you beast, Tan Yushan must have been blind. To actually fancy a thing like you that is worse than a pig or a dog. Today, I finally understand how my master died. Tan Yushan's voice made all the people understand who was the one who had done this. Tan Yun immediately screamed out. Beast, Yushan could not wait to dig out her heart for you. Yet you still want to kill Yushan. Even Yushan's master was killed by you. I will pull out your soul. Tan Yun's face was covered with tears as she spoke. She immediately rushed towards Jiangjun. The two crucible transformation cultivators from the Red Star Sword faction quickly blocked in front of her, while the crucible transformation cultivators from the Great Change Island were obviously not to be outdone. As they immediately brought out their magical weapons, it seemed that a great battle was inevitable. It's not me, it's definitely not me, this crystal ball is fake. Jiangjun's face no longer had that kind of sadness, only endless panic. However, no one paid any attention to Jiangjun. Even a fool would know that this crystal ball could not be fake. At this time, all the people were paying close attention to the upcoming great battle. The Great Change Island and the Red Star Sword faction were both major academies of the top 10 academies. As such, once this battle broke out, it would definitely be earth-shattering. Some of the cultivators with weaker cultivations quickly retreated, lest they would not even have the opportunity to retreat once the battle broke out. Chapter 292. Stop! As the voice fell, a powerful aura that could crush all the crucible transformation cultivators on the scene swept out in an overwhelming manner. Whether it was the crucible transformation cultivators from the Red Star Sword faction or the Great Change Island, all of them, because of this incomparably powerful aura, immediately stopped themselves from continuing to stimulate their magical weapons. Ning Cheng, who was in the midst of this crushing aura, felt that as long as he dared to disobey this aura, the next moment, this aura would crush him into nothingness. With Tan Yun's soul-sculpting cultivation, even if she did not listen to these words, she would still be suppressed to the point that she would not be able to move even half a step. It was not up to her to decide whether to listen or not. Ning Cheng was incomparably shocked in his heart, such a powerful cultivation. This kind of cultivation was definitely above the crucible transformation realm. According to Liang Kerson's words, the Tian continent's cultivators above the crucible transformation realm had yet to cross the thunder tribulation. Once they crossed the thunder tribulation, their strength would be just too terrifying. After feeling such formidable strength, Ning Cheng obtained a broken crystal stone, allowing him to quickly advance to the late stages of the profound core realm. The superiority of his strength skyrocketing instantly disappeared without a trace. Previously, when he had the strength comparable to a soul essence realm cultivator in the profound core realm, he did not care too much about that sickly-looking crucible transformation man from the Red Star Sword faction. Even if a sick man wanted to start a fight, in this place he would have to take the Rainbow Fall Sword sect into consideration. But now that such a terrifying expert had appeared, if these people wanted to kill Ning Cheng, then even if Elder Bei tried his best to stop them, he would not be able to stop them. It's the Heavenly Dao Academy's Dao Master Xiao Bixing. The surrounding cultivators whispered to Ning Cheng's ears. Ning Cheng came to know that this cultivator was the Heavenly Dao Academy's Dao Master. After the place fell silent, a figure in a green robe landed among the crowd. What made Ning Cheng surprised was that this person turned out to be a young man who looked to be about the same age as him. Although he looked about the same as him, the moment he stood there, the surrounding aura immediately formed around him. It was as if at this moment, he was the ruler of the world. This blue-robed man landed in midair, as he looked all around him, before he cupped his fists and spoke. Fellow friends, since you have come to my Heavenly Dao public square, then you are all my guests. No matter what kind of grievances they had, they could not be resolved in the Heavenly Dao public square. What's more, it was the Heaven Continent's Great Sect Tournament. I hope that everyone can give face to all the sects in the Tian continent. If you can give face to my Heavenly Dao Academy, then I, Xiao Bixing, will be very grateful. Of course, if you insist on thinking that my Heavenly Tao Public Square can do whatever you want, then my Heavenly Tao Academy will also accept it. The Taoist lord of the Natural Law School seemed to be polite, but in fact he was very tough. His meaning was that if anyone dared to cause trouble in the Heavenly Tao Public Square, then he simply wouldn't ask for the reason, and would directly deal with them. Taoist Lord Xiao, my little sister was plotted against and killed by this bastard. Can't I get revenge on him now? Tianyun stood up and said with extreme grief and indignation. Xiao Bixing sighed and said, "It's really a pity that your sister was murdered." However, the Heavenly Tao Public Square had its own set of rules, while the Great Meet of the Academies had its own set of rules. Although Qin Jun behaved like a beast, but he was a cultivator who had passed through the preliminary round of the Soul Essence realm in the Great Meet of the Academies. At the very least, during the Great Sect competition, no one is allowed to take the initiative to fight with him for any reason, unless he takes the initiative to settle it with you. I understand. In the end, it's just that my Great Change Island does not have any top experts. In the future, when my cultivation steps into the Crucible Transformation realm, regardless of the rules, I will definitely kill this bastard. After Tianyun spoke those words in a cold voice, she unexpectedly calmed down and did not continue to look for Qin Jun. Xiao Bixing gave a proud smile and spoke. These rules are not set by my Heavenly Tao Academy, but rather by the entire Tian Continent's academies. Your Great Change Island is also one of them. Of course, if one day your cultivation can crush the experts of the entire Tian Continent's academies, then you can also set your own rules. Qin Jun no longer had that sad and indignant expression from a moment ago. He just coldly glanced at Ning Cheng. His eyes were filled with killing intent, which the people around Ning Cheng could clearly see. Ning Cheng gave an indifferent smile, as if he did not care about it. Although he was aware of the terrifying cultivation of someone above the Crucible Transformation realm, but facing Qin Jun, who was only in the Soul Essence realm, he really did not care about him. Since he was not afraid of Qin Jun at this moment, then in the future, he would only grow stronger and stronger compared to Qin Jun. This kind of self-confidence came from the bottom of his heart. Everyone please disperse, and prepare for the upcoming Great Meet of the Academies. After Xiao Bixing finished speaking, his figure quickly dimmed, and soon disappeared. The cultivators on the public square did not feel any waves because of Xiao Bixing's departure, rather each and every one of them instinctively dispersed. Ning Qing bowed to Elder Bei and spoke, "Many thanks for Elder Bei's help, otherwise that sick man would definitely not have let me go." Elder Bei gave a laugh and spoke, "Ning Qing, you are very good. I like the things you do." At this time, the Red Star Sword faction, I estimate that they would be swallowing flies. Right, let me introduce you. This is my Rainbow Fall Sword Sect's Deputy Academy Master Tantai. Elder Bei also did not forget to help Ning Cheng introduce Tantai Fei, although Ning Cheng was in the limelight during the last Academy assignment, but he was not qualified to meet the Deputy Academy Master. Ning Cheng had already guessed that the old man beside Elder Bei was the Deputy Academy Master. Now that Elder Bei introduced him, he quickly gave a salute and spoke, "Ning Cheng greets Deputy Academy Master Tantai." Tantai Fei nodded and spoke with a smile. "Good. The Academy Master will be returning to the station tonight. You can first go and chat with the two fairies. When we return to the station in the evening, we have something important to discuss with you." Ning Cheng looked at Yin Kongchan and Su Yingde who were standing by his side, and spoke with some helplessness. "Yes, this disciple will definitely return in the evening." "Haha, it doesn't matter if you come back late in the evening, go on. If there is anything, you can immediately crush this jade talisman." Elder Bei laughed, and after throwing a jade talisman to Ning Cheng, he directly pulled Deputy Academy Master Tantai, and soon disappeared without a trace. "We can go and drink coffee now." Yin Kongchan's tone was calm and without any fluctuations. It was as if she had followed Ning Cheng for such a long time, just to drink a cup of coffee. Ning Cheng spoke up in a bad mood. "From here to the coffee shop, there are still countless positional planes. Seeing that you helped me with the talisman, I will take you to drink a cup of spiritual tea. Alas, it really is a headache." Saying that, Ning Cheng looked at Su Yingde who was standing on the other side and spoke, "You can also come with us. Let's solve our problems together." Don't always follow me around like a burden. Ning Cheng was walking through the streets of the heavenly Dao public square with a heart full of worries. Even when he passed by a few rest stops and a spiritual tea house, he did not care about it. Yin Kongchan and Suing Dai, who were following behind him, did not speak, nor did they remind Ning Cheng that they had already passed by the rest stops and the spiritual tea house. With two stunning female cultivators following behind Ning Cheng, moreover these two female cultivators were also people with great backgrounds. Coupled with Ning Cheng, who had just stirred up trouble, these three people quickly became the scenery on the streets. Many people were pointing at them and whispering to each other. Yin Kongchan acted as if she did not hear any of these discussions, while Suing Dai's face was the same as always, without even half a shred of surprise. Ning Cheng's mind seemed to be wandering, as he was simply thinking about other things. After a while, Ning Cheng finally sobered up. He saw many gazes staring at him, and immediately knew that he was being watched. He quickly wanted to find a rest stop to solve the problem between the three of them, but at this time, he unexpectedly saw a somewhat familiar name. Hey, Xingba rest stop? Ning Cheng stared at the four words in front of him, as his thoughts once again returned to a distant place. Do you often come to this place? Suing Dai interrupted Ning Cheng's thoughts. Ning Cheng walked into the rest stop, while shaking his head and spoke. No, a long time ago, when I was still in school, I saw a coffee shop with a similar name. The rest stop shop assistant, on seeing the Ning Cheng trio come in, did not even need to say anything, as he took the initiative to lead the Ning Cheng trio to a quiet booth upstairs. These three people were not simple. As such, the shop assistant still had a bit of eyesight. You said that you want to drink coffee. Is that the coffee shop? Yin Kongchan asked. Ning Cheng gave a sigh and spoke. I have never been to a coffee shop. The prices there are too high. I just buy some of the cheapest ones, and then come back and rinse it with boiling water. With your net worth, what kind of coffee would you not be able to drink? Suing Dai suddenly spoke. My hometown only accepts paper money, not spirit stones. Do you understand? If you don't understand, then don't talk nonsense. Ning Cheng's mood suddenly turned bad. Is your hometown very far away? Yin Kongchan asked. Ning Cheng frowned, before he waved his hand and spoke. We did not come here to talk about these boring words. Everyone enter the booth. If you have something to say, then you can go ahead and do your own things. Saying that, Ning Cheng took the lead and entered the booth. After the shop assistant served the three people a cup of spiritual tea, he carefully retreated. Ning Cheng raised his hand and shot out a few restrictions, before he spoke. If you have something to say, then you can directly say it. I do not want you to follow me wherever I go. This would make me feel that I do not have even the slightest bit of privacy. Do you understand? At this time, in the Rainbow Fall Sword Sex Meeting Hall, it was also filled with cultivators. In addition to several Crucible Transformation cultivators, there were also several Sea Opening Realm cultivators. At the bottom sat two people, two Soul Essence cultivators, and three Profound Core cultivators. Sitting at the head of the table was a middle-aged man with a white face. His eyes were incomparably deep. As if there was nothing in his eyes, there was no secret. This was the Rainbow Fall Sword Sex headmaster, Rui Baishan, who had just arrived at the station. Zhang Qian, you can explain the situation again in detail. The headmaster, sitting at the head of the table, looked at the Profound Core 7th level cultivator sitting at the bottom. This Profound Core 7th level cultivator, on seeing this, quickly stood up, as he carefully spoke. Yes, headmaster. At that time, I was in the cultivator exchange hall, and was preparing to sell 10 drops of spiritual enhancement true nectar. Zhang Qian spoke in a very detailed manner. Even the words that Ning Cheng had spoken when he stepped onto the battle ring were very clear in his words. You are saying that Ning Cheng on the battle ring just flashed a few times before he managed to escape from Ding Liang's cloud isolating claw shadows, and then brought out a long spear to kill Ding Liang? Rui Baishan's tone turned a bit harsh. Yes, this disciple absolutely does not dare to lie. It's just that senior apprentice brother Ning's cultivation is much higher than mine. This disciple is ashamed to be unable to distinguish the details of senior apprentice brother Ning's movements. Zhang Qian replied in a respectful manner. Chapter 293. Rainbow Fall Sword Sect's headmaster Rui Baishan nodded, and then looked at the rest of the people and spoke. If Ningcheng really has such formidable strength, then not letting him participate in the tournament would be a huge mistake. Headmaster, although our Rainbow Fall Sword Sect's results in the Profound Core Realm preliminaries were not good, but we still managed to get 2 people into the top 100 of the preliminaries. According to the rules of the tournament, Ningcheng can replace one of the 2 people in the tournament. A Crucible Transformation Elder immediately spoke up. But in this way, it would be tantamount to taking away the future of the disciples who managed to get a place in the finals. It would be unfair to them. Moreover, Ningcheng himself is not very willing to participate in this tournament. If he was willing to participate, he would have already signed up. Deputy Headmaster Tantai Fei spoke up. A middle-aged woman sitting next to Tantai Fei snorted and spoke. Ningcheng has already brought so much trouble to our Rainbow Fall Sword Sect. Letting him represent the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect in the Profound Core Realm tournament. It is already considered as a special favor. Why would he not be willing? Elder Bei had not spoken, but now that he heard the woman's words, he immediately retorted in a somewhat unhappy manner. Speaking of which, Ningcheng also helped my Rainbow Fall Sword Sect. How could he bring any trouble to us? Besides, in my Rainbow Fall Sword Sect, the disciples participating in the tournament are voluntary. Moreover, I also agree with what Senior Apprentice Brother Tantai said. Even if Ningcheng is willing to participate, it would be unfair to the other 2 disciples who managed to break into the finals. Rui Baishan waved his hand, stopping the female cultivator from continuing to speak, and then spoke. Deputy Headmaster Tantai's words and Elder Bei's words are somewhat reasonable. Although my Rainbow Fall Sword Sect will not be able to enter the top 10 academies, but as a sword sect, we must have sword chi. We cannot force our disciples to do things that they do not want to do. Headmaster, all the elders, disciple Xian Saishua is willing to withdraw from the finals and give up the spot to Senior Apprentice Brother Ningcheng. At this time, a Profound Core female cultivator sitting at the bottom took the initiative to step forward, as she bowed and spoke. The male cultivator beside her, on seeing the female cultivator step out, also quickly stepped forward and spoke. Disciple Liang Shi is also willing to give up the spot to Senior Apprentice Brother Ningcheng. Rui Baishan nodded and spoke. Xian Saishua is ranked 81, while Liang Shi is ranked 92. Since Xian Saishua stepped forward first, then let Xian Saishua's spot be the first. Xian Saishua gave up the spot. The academy will give her spot to Ningcheng. Since Xian Saishua gave up her quota, the sect would give her a certain amount of compensation. After Ningcheng comes back, we can ask Ningcheng. If Ningcheng does not want to participate in the competition, then there is no need to force him. Thank you, Sect Master. Thank you, elders. Xian Saishua hurriedly expressed her gratitude again and retreated. She was also reluctant to give up this spot, but Xian Saishua knew that with her strength, it was impossible for her to enter the top 50, let alone the top 10. Many of the cultivators who passed the preliminary round did not even bring out their full strength. My matters are somewhat private. Can I speak to you alone? Su Yingde looked at Ningcheng, without any intention of avoiding Yin Kongchan. Yin Kongchan also immediately spoke up. My matters are also very private, so I want to speak to you alone. Ningcheng gave a sneer and spoke. There is no such thing as privacy in front of me. Even if you want to go to bed with me immediately, you need to speak it out now. If you don't want to talk about it, then please leave. Don't send any elders to our Rainbow Fall Sword Sect to annoy us. Su Yingde, on seeing Ningcheng's firm tone, without even half a bit of leeway, also spoke up. Since that is the case, then I will speak it out directly. The reason why I want to become your Dao companion is not to deceive you. It is because I really want to become your Dao companion. You can rest assured, even if I can successfully sever my emotions on you, I will not have any relationship with a second man after that. Ningcheng did not show even half a shred of fluctuations because of Su Yingde's words, and still spoke out calmly. Give me the reason. You can think of it as love at first sight. In that ice house, when I saw you talking to the life essence of the ancient immortal cave, I think that you have already left a very deep impression in my heart. You can make me fall in love with you. Only if you leave an impression on me, then I can fall in love with you. My severing emotions Dao sect does not just casually find a person to fall in love with. Of course, I also have another reason. Ningqing gave a sneer and spoke. In the end, it is all because of what you want, and because of what you want to do? What is in it for me? Besides, is it really that important for me to fall in love with you? Suingde, you are indeed beautiful, but if you think that just because you are beautiful, then you can make me accompany you to do this kind of boring thing, then forgive me for not accompanying you. Suingde's complexion did not change in the slightest, and still spoke. If I cannot sever my emotions, then I will accompany you for a lifetime. Ningqing shook his head. Is it that rare? Saying that, Ningqing looked at Yin Kongchan and spoke. It's your turn. Wait. Suingde spoke again. I have another reason. It is because I guess that you have a 9-colored mirage tree on you. The 9-colored mirage tree is very important to me. I want to ask you for a branch. Ningqing's complexion sank. He did not ask Suingde. He was thinking in his heart. How did Suingde know that he had a 9-colored mirage tree on him? Perhaps this was the real purpose of Suingde. What good impression, what good falling in love with him. It was all a lie to deceive a ghost. Suingde seemed to know what Ningqing was thinking, and took the initiative to speak. The Mirage Ship Island has reappeared. Moreover, from the information I obtained, the 9-colored Mirage tree on the Mirage Ship Island has also been dug out by someone. The 9-colored Mirage tree is countless times more precious than the profound dragon stone. It is simply not something that can be dug out with true essence. The more powerful one's true essence is, the more solid the Mirage tree would be. In theory, even a crucible transformation cultivator would not be able to dig out the 9-colored Mirage tree from the Mirage Ship Island. I do not know if my guess is right, but I guess that the 9-colored Mirage tree is most likely on you. Ningqing's complexion on hearing this immediately changed. The 9-colored Mirage tree that he had thrown into his miniature world had already withered. He had initially thought that it was simply a worthless thing, but from Suingde's tone, how could the 9-colored Mirage tree be so valuable? Doesn't this mean you have a 9-colored Mirage tree? Yin Kongchan also stood up in shock. She finally understood why Suingde wanted to fall in love with Ningqing. Even if she could not sever her emotions, and even if she really became Dao companions with Ningqing possessing the 9-colored Mirage tree, she would not lose out on this transaction. The severing emotions Dao sect, it really was a good plan. In contrast, the floating snow palace simply did not have such a plan. She came to look for Ningqing to become husband and wife. It was completely her own private act. It was not because she really fell in love with Ningqing. If no one knew about this matter, I would not have spoken about it today. Ningqing, you should know about the matter regarding the 9-colored Mirage tree. My severing emotions Dao sect already knows about it. I believe that there are at least no less than 20 people who know about it. You appeared in the Heavenly Dao public square, and waited for more than a month before the great meet of the academies ends. At that time, there would be countless people who would want to kill you. Suingde still spoke in a calm voice. Ningqing remained silent. He did not admit that he had the 9-colored Mirage tree, nor did he deny it. However, he knew that it did not matter whether he admitted it or not, as he knew that he was in big trouble. If the 9-colored Mirage tree was really as Suingde said, that it was countless times more precious than Mirage stones, then him selling the spiritual enhancement True Nectar to reduce his troubles was just a complete joke. He knew that Suingde was not wrong about one thing, that is, the 9-colored Mirage tree could not be dug up using true essence. He had used the power of hope to dig up the 9-colored Mirage tree, but wasn't the tree already dead? Moreover, from Yin Kongchan's expression, Ningqing could guess that the 9-colored Mirage tree was not simple at all. Yin Kongchan and he had known each other until now, and had always had the same expression. But now she was also surprised by the 9-colored Mirage tree. It was clear that the 9-colored Mirage tree was truly amazing. Yin Kongchan's face had already restored to its previous tranquility, as she spoke with a sigh. There is only a single 9-colored Mirage tree in this world. Moreover, it is only found in the star boundary where the Mirage Island appears. Ningqing, if the 9-colored Mirage tree really is in your possession, then your troubles would not be small. No one would be willing to let go of the mirage tree. Even if you have more wealth, in front of the mirage tree, it would simply be illusory. When Ningcheng heard those words, he gave a faint smile and spoke. I have also been to the Mirage Ship Island, and have also seen the 9-colored mirage tree. It is definitely more than one. Not only is there more than one, but there are also a lot of them. How could it be so precious? Did the two of you form a group to fool me? When Su Yingde heard Ningcheng's words, she immediately knew that the information provided by the Severing Emotions Dao sect was not wrong. Since Ningcheng had been to the Mirage Ship Island, then it was very likely that he really had a 9-colored mirage tree. She looked at Ningcheng with a pair of clear water-like eyes and spoke. You are wrong, there is only one 9-colored mirage tree. The rest of the 9-colored mirage trees that you see are all illusory, only one of them is real. Do you know what is called illusory? It is illusory and ethereal. It is not something that you can see with the naked eye. What you see or even what you get is fake, that is illusory. Ningcheng gave a sneer. Even if I dug up a 9-colored mirage tree, it does not necessarily mean that I would have the kind of good luck that you are talking about, right? Did I just happen to dig up the real mirage tree? Because no matter which 9-colored mirage tree you dig up, as long as you dig it up, then that one is the real one. The rest of the mirage trees will turn into 8-colored mirage trees within a year. Moreover, the next time the Mirage Island appears, there would only be 8-colored mirage stones on the island. The next time, there would only be 7-colored mirage stones, and so on, until the Mirage Island no longer appears in this world. Su Yingde's eyes were incomparably clear, just like a clear and transparent black and white landscape painting, causing people to not doubt that her words were false. Moreover, even if you obtain more 9-colored mirage stones on the Mirage Ship Island, it would only turn into 9, not more, not less. Su Yingde stared at Ningcheng as she spoke, as if she wanted to see a flower blossoming on Ningcheng's face. Ningcheng was surprised, as he quickly took out a pile of jade boxes, and directly opened these jade boxes. Since the existence of the mirage tree was already known by these two women, moreover the others also knew about it, then what was the point of hiding a few mirage stones? Compared to the dangers of the mirage tree, these mirage stones were nothing. Ningcheng had a total of 18 9-colored mirage stones, and had given one to Liang Kersen, leaving him with 17 9-colored mirage stones. Now he opened the 17 jade boxes one by one. When Ningcheng discovered that out of the 17 jade boxes, there were only 8 9-colored mirage stones, while the rest of the jade boxes were empty, he immediately froze. Chapter 294. Ningcheng could not believe it as he looked at the 9 empty boxes in front of him. If he did not know that no one had touched his ring, he would have thought that someone had stolen it. Ningcheng was dumbfounded. Ying Kongchan and Su Yingde were equally dumbfounded. Just what kind of person was this to actually be able to obtain so many 9-colored mirage stones? The two women were both amazingly intelligent, and instantly understood that Ningcheng had really dug out the mirage tree. Moreover, he had also obtained 18 9-colored mirage stones, but now 9 of the mirage stones had disappeared. It turns out to be true. Doesn't that mean that the mirage stones of the people who obtained the 9-colored mirage stones in the past would also automatically disappear? Ningcheng asked as he thought about it. Su Yingde spoke in a slow voice. 9-colored mirage stones are extremely rare, although some people had managed to obtain them before, but generally they would not keep them, and would basically use them up. If I did not use it, I'm afraid that the 9-colored mirage tree would disappear from the Mirage Island. Ningcheng put away the mirage stone, as his complexion turned ugly. Since the two women in front of him already knew about it, then it was only a matter of time before others came to know that he had a 9-colored mirage tree. At that time, even the Rainbow Fall Sword sect would not be able to shelter him. Besides, after knowing that he had the 9-colored mirage tree, would the Rainbow Fall Sword sect still shelter him? Fortunately, he had made an appointment with these two women today. Otherwise, even if he did not take out the 9-colored mirage stone in that ancient immortal cave, sooner or later he would have been exposed. He would not even know how he died. The Mirage Ship Island had lost a 9-colored mirage tree. This kind of thing, if they did not investigate it, then it would really be strange. Since you really have a 9-colored mirage tree, then after this great meet, you will definitely not be able to return to the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect. It is currently the time for the great meet of the academies, as such no one is focusing their energy on this matter. Moreover, the news about the 9-colored mirage tree has not yet been completely leaked out. As such you still have the opportunity to escape. Of course, the premise is that the two of us do not speak about this matter. Su Yingde finished, as she lightly swept a glance at Yin Kongchan. Yin Kongchan still spoke up in a calm voice. At least I will not be like some of the academies, who would sever their emotions. If I fell in love with someone, I would not go and sever my emotions. I will live and die for him. So to say, are you really sincere towards Ningcheng? Is that why the floating snow palace proposed marriage to Ningcheng? Although Su Yingde's tone did not contain even half a shred of sarcasm, but Yin Kongchan could still feel the sarcasm in it. Ningcheng at this time was not in the mood to ask Yin Kongchan about the reason why she wanted to come together with him. He was thinking about how to leave the Heavenly Dao public square, and then how to escape to a faraway place. If you want to fly far away, then I can accompany you. Yin Kongchan seemed to have understood the meaning behind Ningcheng's words, as she suddenly spoke up. Ningcheng immediately recovered, as he looked at Yin Kongchan in doubt and spoke. Do you really want to marry me? Yin Kongchan shook her head and spoke. I don't really want to marry you, of course. If you want me to marry you, then I can also marry you, but I will not dual cultivate with you. Ningcheng sneered. Raising a hen that can lay eggs, if you don't want to dual cultivate with me, then why would I marry you? Do I have to raise you for nothing just because you're beautiful? Yin Kongchan did not care about Ningcheng's words, and still spoke up. The reason why I wanted the academy to propose marriage to you was because I wanted you to give me something. Now that I've met your people, I know that's impossible, so I've decided to work with you. What do you want? Ningcheng was currently in a bad mood. As such, the tone of his words was also somewhat aggressive. He did not have the patience of Yin Kongchan and Su Yingde. The twin heavenly cloud wings. Yin Kongchan spoke as she stared at Ningcheng's eyes. She wanted to see if Ningcheng was telling the truth or lying. Ningcheng spoke with disdain. One of you wants my mirage tree, while the other wants my twin heavenly cloud wings. I'll tell you the truth, I have both of them, but unfortunately, I'm not willing to take them out. If you want to snatch them, then you can directly come up to me. I'll also take them. You really do have the twin heavenly cloud wings. Yin Kongchan gave a sigh of relief, as she calmly spoke to Ningcheng. Since I said it out loud, then I will not snatch it from you. You should have participated in the Heavenly Stars auction. Yin Kongchan's words were immediately interrupted by Ningcheng. You don't need to say it, others already know that I sold a lot of spiritual enhancement true nectar at the Heavenly Stars auction. Only an idiot would not know about it. Yin Kongchan did not seem to hear the uncomfortable tone in Ningcheng's voice, as she continued. I'm not talking about the spiritual enhancement true nectar, but the geocentric 9 essence. So it was you. Ningcheng instantly came to understand. Initially, when he was competing for the geocentric 9 essence jade strip, a female cultivator had appeared out of thin air and snatched away the geocentric 9 essence jade strip. Although the Heavenly Stars auction house did not divulge any information about their customers, but with the strength of the floating snow palace, it would be too easy for the Heavenly Stars auction house to divulge information about a lone ghost without any backing. For Yin Kongchan to come to know about his matters from the Heavenly Stars auction house, it would not be difficult. Before, Yin Kongchan might not have known that he was Ningcheng, but after he exposed the spiritual enhancement true nectar, everything became very clear. Ningcheng understood that these two women had their own plans. As such, he completely calmed down. He wanted Yin Kongchan's geocentric 9 essence jade strip, but at the same time he also wanted to find a way to leave the Heavenly Dao public square and fly to a faraway place. If it did not work, then he would have to go back to the Lu continent. What do you want? There is no need to mention the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Now it is not called a pair of wings, but rather the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Ningcheng no longer spoke any nonsense with Yin Kongchan, since things had already come to this point. It was already very obvious. What he was concerned about now was what he should do in the future. Let's cooperate and go together to obtain the geocentric 9 essence. The reason why I want your twin wings of the heavenly clouds is also because of the geocentric 9 essence. This thing is extremely important to me. Moreover, other than the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, there is no other way to get close to the geocentric 9 essence. In Kongchan spoke in a straightforward manner. Okay, just give me a copy of the jade strip, and then I will go to that place and wait for you. Ningcheng spoke without hesitation. In Kongchan spoke in a light voice. Although I do not like to think about things, but I am not an idiot. Can you not speak to me in such an idiotic tone? Well, since you have the heart of a villain, then just say a place, we will meet at that place. Ningcheng knew that In Kongchan did not believe him, and was afraid that after he took the jade strip, he would immediately kick her away. I also want to go there. Suingde, who had already been excluded, immediately spoke up. In Kongchan still spoke in a light voice. I have the geocentric 9 essence jade strip. Ningcheng has the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. What do you have? Could it be that you have something that you can use to threaten Ningcheng, so you want to threaten him? Suingde spoke in the same tone. I said that I would fall in love with Ningcheng. I will not threaten a person that I want to fall in love with. Ningcheng raised his hand and stopped Suingde's words. Stop, I have already told you, we do not have any emotional relationship. I already have a fiancé, do you know that? If you are unmarried, then you are not a wife. Moreover, even if you have a Dao companion, it would not affect me falling in love with you. Suingde's tone slightly paused. Now is not the time to talk about this. Now is the time to talk about cooperation. The geocentric 9 essence is also very important to me, just like how I desire the branch of the mirage tree. Because if your jade strip has the wrong direction, then I can help you find the geocentric 9 essence. In Kongchan just looked at Ningcheng and spoke. The reason why Suingde wants to be with you is because she wants to fall in love with you. If she cannot even be with you, then falling in love with you would just be nonsense. As for the rest of her words, I do not believe it. Suingde also did not refute In Kongchan. She just waved her hand, and a snow-white adorable spiritual fox immediately jumped onto her shoulder. This is the spiritual fox seeking Little Sun. If you cannot find the geocentric 9 essence, then as long as the general direction is correct, then Little Sun would definitely be able to help you. Suingde finished, but did not care about In Kongchan, and instead stared at Ningcheng. In Kongchan showed a bit of surprise for the second time, and only spoke up after a while. You actually have such a treasure, moreover you even took it out for people to see. It seems like you are serious? Suingde still looked at Ningcheng, and did not answer In Kongchan's words. In Kongchan saw that Ningcheng was about to speak, and suddenly spoke up in front of him. Ningcheng, I agree to let Suingde go together, but Suingde wants to fall in love with you. You have to be careful. The people from the Severing Emotions Dao sect talk about falling in love with you. But the truth is that they do not have any feelings at all, and do not even recognize their own relatives. When she wants to leave, is when you would fall in love with her the most. At that time you would be better off dead than alive, but she would not care about it at all. She might even kill you. Ningcheng gave a calm smile. Since that is the case, then let's all go together. As for In Kongchan's persuasion, Ningcheng directly ignored it. Suingde was a cheap person, but In Kongchan was also not much better. These two people were not even worthy to carry the shoes of his Luofei, so how could they be worthy for him to fall in love with them? He was not the kind of person who only cared about appearances. Good, since everyone has reached an agreement, then let's talk about your current situation. Suingde raised her hand and once again put away the spiritual seeking fox and spoke. If I have not guessed wrong, then when you return to the Rainbow Fallsword sect, you will be representing the Academy in the finals of the Profound Core Realm. Moreover, both of us also have a task for the Great Meet, so before the end of the Great Meet of the Academies, we will not be able to leave, nor can we leave. Ningcheng frowned. I did not participate in the preliminaries for the Profound Core Realm. As such, I will not be representing the Academy in the tournament. In Kongchan took the initiative to speak up. Every academy has a substitute quota for the finals. The Rainbow Fall Sword sect has 2 profound core cultivators who broke into the finals of the profound core realm. This time Suingde guessed it right. The Rainbow Fall Sword sect will definitely let you replace another profound core cultivator and represent the academy in the tournament for the profound core realm. When In Kongchan said that every academy had a substitute quota for the finals, Ning Cheng knew that these 2 women were right. It seems that he really might be able to represent the academy in the tournament. Alright, then let's talk about how we are going to leave this place after the great meet. Ning Cheng understood this truth and immediately spoke up, representing the academy to participate in the tournament. It was not a big deal. In Kongchan took out 3 talismans and spoke. These are 3 rank 7 marking escape talismans. After activating it, you can completely escape from the range of a crucible transformation cultivator's spiritual consciousness. The 3 of us will each take 1. As long as we leave behind a spiritual consciousness mark at the same time. After we escape, we will appear in the same place. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.